in that queue, we are going to go ahead and get our first guest up here right now because we already have a handful of guest requests. So we're going to go ahead and start the night off strong. What's up, Ultimate? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Nope.
Okay, well, we're not going to start off the day strong because we had a based Chad join the live.
I love you,
what's up?
Dean. I love what you do, man. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, Jake. Everybody show some love to Jake down below. Guys, if you are in the queue, make sure that you're not a base Chad, right? And you rather are misogynistic and you think that men are better at leading than women. What's up, Ryland? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Yes, sir.
And how old are you?
19.
So why do you think men are better at leading than women?
Because we've been doing it since the beginning of time.
Men have been leading since the beginning of time. How does that mean that men are better at leading than women?
Because why would it change if it's the wrong idea?
Oh, so you're just saying, well, it's been the case, right? So it should be the case going forward. So this is called a traditional fallacy, right? Just because something has been the case doesn't mean it should be the case. A good example of this fallacy would be the idea that during the times of slave ownership, a slave owner would make the argument, well, we've been owning slaves for thousands of years. It means that we should moving forward. Any left? There's a typo in the background. Okay. All right. Well, there's a typo in the background. Honestly, like, if I fix the typo, like, the stream's gonna start lagging, and I don't really know if there's much I could do to fix it, but we'll give it a shot. So everybody just do give us a minute. Why can't women lead as good as men? How about that? Why can't women... One moment, you guys. Everybody do just give us a minute here. There we go. It should be on the phone any moment. Great, and we are back. Let me know if there's lag, guys. Let me know if there's lag, typically speaking. When I do leave the app like here, y'all. Right now. There's the lag. It is lagging a little bit. Yeah. Because like when you leave the app to do something like respond to a text, hang up a phone call, finally I fix. Awesome. Okay, well that's how we fix it. What's up, Paul? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
No.
Okay, well I'm just looking to debate people that do. We're gonna move on to our next guest here, y'all. Everybody just do give us a minute. We got our next guest loading up into the queue. If you are in the box, make sure that you do think that men are better at leading than women. What's up? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
No, I wanted to come up, but this is really
guys, please, like, I don't really like know what to tell you guys. Hey, do you think that men are better at leading than women?
I feel like in a way, in some parts, probably, but maybe not. I don't know.
Bro.
Like.
Okay, guys. We're just looking for some debates, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody just do give us a minute.
Can I, please?
I don't care.
What? Because it's not like I'm not debating, you know? So
yeah, I mean, I don't care. Go for it.
Yes, so I went through X and stuff and I saw something about you. It was, I don't know how to say it, but you know the way Andrew Tate had like this whole thing where it was like
like Andrew Tate's Hustlers University.
Yeah. I saw you and like with like beside like a bag of money talking about it. Sorry, guys.
So I've been in professional web development and software development since a young age. I have 2 international awards for web development. For like 6 months when I was 17, I decided to try to use Andrew Tate's marketing to sell e-commerce websites to people on the internet to build their brands.
Was that
it wasn't
a
a
joke or
scam.
for real?
No, it was just like bad marketing tactics. It wasn't like a scam. No one was defrauded. It was just like cringy marketing, but it wasn't like immoral in my mind.
Right, okay. Because I just saw people saying like they never got paid or like stuff like this, and
well, I mean that's not true at all. You've never seen that because I only sold it.
Well, I did see it on X. I'm not lying.
People. Okay, well, I mean, then you're like looking at a liar. Like they wouldn't be able to produce any evidence of that.
Thanks for addressing that. Just wanted to ask.
Okay. Well, we're gonna get back to the debates, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody, go and just give us a minute, y'all. We got our next guest loading up in the box, y'all. So everybody, just do give us a minute. Hey, what's going on? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Yes, sir.
Okay, why is that?
I just think that like men just have like a different like sort of toughness that women just don't bring. I mean,
Men
you
are more
can't agree
tough than
that.
women? No, I
I
disagree.
mean, listen. I
Women
mean,
are
look at
biologically
Kamala.
designed.
Like, you don't
Hey,
think
hey,
Kamala
sir.
is less tough than
Okay.
Trump? I mean,
No, I think she's more
come,
tough than Trump.
okay, why?
Yeah, I mean, we'll just take their debate, for instance. Riled up and emotional to say some crazy shit to reduce his overall support, and then she like successfully achieved that and was able to set him off. Right. We could also reference the fact that Kamala Harris has never tweeted out about hating someone because they endorse Trump, like Trump did when he tweeted out that he hates Taylor Swift. He's like by far significantly more emotional and more likely to get manipulated by others due to the fact that he just wants approval. And like that's why we have leaked Kremlin documents that suggest that Putin thinks that he's easy to manipulate. Then also not to mention that women are just biologically like predestined to be quote unquote more tough than men, right? Being able to manage stress better. That was evolutionarily derived from childbirth, meaning that they have thicker dendrites in the context of their neuroanatomy to literally deal with stress and pain better than men.
Okay, I get that, but I mean, I just think like when Trump was president, we had like way better like relationship with like world leaders. Like, you don't think that like they look at the Biden Harris administration, they just see like weakness? Like, I don't understand. Like all these wars broke out.
Well, I mean,
You're
so
not.
like
You
first
can't
of
tell
all,
me
like
that this is not like
first of all,
related at all.
I completely disagree with you. But even if you were right, our president is a man. like,
Okay, I mean,
even if you were right,
that's fair.
even
That's fair.
even
But
if
I
you
mean,
were
have you
right,
seen Joe
like you're
Biden? Have
comparing
you
one
seen him?
man to
Like,
another man.
yeah, I get it, but it's two like totally different men. Like, have you seen Joe Biden? I mean, he's pretty much
What is
senile
the
at this point.
topic of the live? Yeah, right. You're literally shitting on a man saying that they're not tough when your whole argument was that men are better at leading
Yeah,
than
but
women
I'd still
because they're
rather
more
Joe
tough.
than Kamala.
Um, you'd rather Joe than okay. What does this tell us about why you think men are better at leading than women? Could you give me your reasons?
I'm telling you that they just have like a sort of like masculine toughness that women just don't bring. Like when world leaders like Putin, Kim Jong Un, like they look at Kamala and they just like laugh at us. I'm telling you.
Wait, actually, so Donald Trump was laughed at a UN council meeting by pretty much every other world leader in the UN. Can you provide me a clip of UN world leaders laughing at Queen Elizabeth, Kamala Harris, or like the woman president of Germany?
Um,
No, you can't. Right. So it's like we actually, right, see like more world leaders laughing at men than we do women. And then when you say that your qualifier for why you think men are better at leading than women is quote unquote masculine toughness, can you describe to me what you mean by that? Like, what is masculine toughness?
okay. I mean, that's not obviously like a real term, but I'm just like it's just kind of like I don't understand. Like you don't see like the difference between men and women.
Well, I'm asking you to
Like
tell me what it is. Like, yeah, what is the relevant distinction between men and women, or a trait that men have that women don't have, or have to a lower degree that makes men better at leading? Like that's the question that I'm asking you,
okay,
and
this
seemingly you
might
can't
sound kind of
answer the
crazy.
question.
Okay, this might sound kind of crazy, but like, what about like women getting their periods? You don't think that has anything to do with it?
Oh, like how women have their monthly
Like,
hormonal cycles. Do you know
yeah,
what the hormonal
exactly.
cycle of a man is?
Hormones is a big thing. Okay,
Do you
what are the
know?
hormones of a
Do
man?
you? No, do you know what
What
the hormonal cycle of a
aggression?
man is?
What is it?
Every 24 hours.
Okay, but we don't get like emotional like women do.
Then why do men
That's a
commit this?
fact.
Then why do men commit 95% of all violent crimes, which is an emotional, irresponsible? Okay, all right. Well, I gotta disconnect you because you got me an FYP restriction. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and respond to that anyways. I just had to disconnect him. So if men are less emotional than women, then how come we see men committing a disproportionate amount of all violent crimes? Men are much more likely to self-unalive. Men are incredibly more likely to partake in irrational, risk-adverse behavior such as drunk driving or gambling. Right? We don't see women punching a hole in their wall because they died in around a fortnight. Right? Not to mention that women quite literally have a higher EQ score on average compared to their male counterparts. Oliver, hi. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Yes.
Okay, Oliver, and why is that?
Nigger, nigger,
Nigger, nigger,
Okay.
nigger. Marijuana,
Well,
marijuana,
just dig
nigger.
it. We're going to move on to our next guest. Everybody do just give us a minute, and I do apologize for the use of slurs. Let's go into what our next guest has to say. Laura, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love, Laura. Thank you so much. And Crystal, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo. Crystal says being the best. I appreciate you, Laura and Crystal. You guys are phenomenal. Everybody, please do show some love to Laura and Crystal in the chat. What's up, Holly? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
I just want to say I am a big fan of you. I absolutely love you from the
I appreciate you so much, Holly. Everybody, please show some love to Holly down below in that chat. Thank you so much for coming up, Holly. You are great. What's up, Kaylee and Dark Maga? Do y'all think that men are better at leading than women?
I think they can be.
No, like, so in an overall, like, generalized statement, are men typically better at leading than women?
So in what perspective? Because you want to talk about like the country or how other countries view women, because there's a lot of different things we could talk about when are they actually better leaders than women.
Yeah, I'm asking you if, like, men possess a trait or traits that women don't possess that make them innately better at leadership.
So I'll say this. So I want to use the example of leading the country. Do you think we'd have a better woman as
Julie,
a leader
thank
right
you for the
now
$6
than
and
an
the
actual
66
man?
cents on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. Yeah.
Okay, so how would have Harris been a better leader than Trump?
Well, sure. I don't think this is related to the topic, but I could inform you.
Well, I mean, we got to use an
Well, she had
example,
better-
right?
Well, I mean, I don't think that one woman could speak for the abilities of all women, but I mean, still yet I could answer your question, right? She's not a 34-count felon held civilly liable for rape that a sexualized 10-year-old girl saying that she dated him in 10 years. She hasn't boasted about grabbing women by the P word or said to Howard Stern on Sirius XM that she liked to walk into the changing rooms of half-naked
first
teenage
of all,
girls.
let's
She also
say
didn't
you're
call for a total
straight.
and complete
I know
shutdown of
you
all new
memorized
Muslims coming
all this
into the country,
propaganda.
and is the case that her policy was significantly better than Donald Trump, serving better to the average American, serving better to the economy as a whole, serving better for immigration, serving better for upholding the checks and balances of our democracy, right? And in comparison to Donald Trump, he had
Right.
significantly better virtues. But once again, one woman's ability doesn't speak for them all, so we
Alright,
can't
so,
just
yeah,
isolate
let's
it down
not
to
go
one
on the
man,
rant
one
of
woman
your
to
politically
like justify your claim
motivated
that men
agenda.
are better at leading than women.
Yeah, so you want to talk about civil trials. You want to talk about politics, we can get into that, but let's not do that. So what I'm saying is if you want to jump into propaganda about how you think Trump's a felon and all these things, which are very untrue.
Wait, that's not
and-
propaganda.
Oh, it's politically motivated, absolutely. Would
Wait,
you
is
say-
Trump a felon?
Hold on, wait.
No, is Trump a felon?
No, wait. Would you say any of it is politically motivated?
No, I know. Is Trump a felon?
Oh, wait, so none of it's politically motivated. That's what you're saying.
No, because it is the case that he committed felonies. Is Trump a felon, sir? Yes or
Civil
no?
trial. Do you know how much
Sir,
evidence you
hey,
need in a civil trial?
5, 4,
How much
3,
evidence?
2, 1. Good boy. Is Trump a felon?
Trump is a civilly trialed felon. Yes. Do you know how much evidence you need for that?
Okay, well, first of all, the standard of evidence upheld in civil trials is going to be a preponderance of evidence. Second of all, you don't constitute a felon or felonies in a civil court. Those would be preceded given a criminal court, like it was with a criminal court that convicted him of 34 felony counts for falsification of business records. But when we're speaking about the litigation held against Trump in a civil court, that would have been for rape. His felonies were derivative of a criminal court. But once again, like
We're
you're
comparing
trying
the
to make
federal
this
court.
into a
We're comparing the federal court.
Sir, what is a federal court, and how does that relate to
What I'm
criminal
saying
and
is
civil
you're
court
being
proceedings?
tried federally by the government versus a civil court trial. They need a lot less evidence. All it is, they have 8 person on jury. They're like, oh yeah, this person seems like.
Wait, one second. You're setting up? Wait, you're saying you're either tried federally or it's a civil
I'm saying
court?
you need very little evidence for a civil court case. So how can you say it's not politically
One second.
motivated?
We need to correct your understanding of the world around you.
No, we
So
need to correct your understanding of how much evidence you need for a civil trial.
I told you the standard of evidence in a civil trial. It's called a preponderance of evidence. Was I wrong?
Which is how much? Okay, so preponderance. So you're putting out fancy words.
I'm asking you. I'm asking you a very direct question. Was I wrong? The answer is no. But here's what I want to correct you.
You are
on.
wrong, actually, because you almost.
Okay,
don't
then
need
what's
any
the standard of
evidence at all.
evidence? Then what's the standard of
Well,
evidence?
what
in
was
a
my
civil
original
court?
question? Do you think
No.
it's politically
You
motivated?
said I was wrong. What's
Let's
the
go
standard
back-
of
yeah,
evidence
you
in a
are
civil
wrong.
court?
Let's go back
no,
to the
okay.
original.
So then if I'm wrong, what's the standard of evidence in a civil
Well, we're
court?
going back
Correct
to the
me.
original question.
No.
So
You are going to
spiral
correct
out.
me, sir.
Oh,
No,
you're
you're going
wrong,
to correct
Dean.
me, sir.
I
Then
can
what's the
laugh.
standard of
I can
evidence in a
laugh
civil
too,
court?
Dean. It's a simple question. What was the
Nicole,
original
thank you
question?
for the
I said?
$10 on
Do you
PayPal.
think it's politically motivated?
Sir, we need to slow down.
All right, let's slow down.
I told you that the standard of evidence in a civil court was a preponderance of evidence, and you said that I was incorrect. So please correct me. What standard of evidence is upheld in civil courts?
What we're saying is you barely need any evidence at all. So if you have 8 people that decide he's guilty, that is politically motivated because you don't need any evidence to run on. So if you want to say he's a felon and pour all of these things about how he's not a good leader and how Harris would have been a better leader, it's just not true, because you cannot use those propaganda tactics that the Democrats have spilled and used your agenda. And I know you like to twist your viewers so they keep paying you money because you love that, because it's easy to fool Democrats, just like the media has done to all these Democrats. So you can fool your own viewers giving you money because it benefits you.
Okay, thank you for the non-answer to my question. I will now clear up some of the misconceptions that you just shared with me. First of all, yo, Crystal, thank you so much for the rhythmic. I appreciate you for the love. Everybody show some love to Crystal down below in the chat. So first of all, you said that there's 8 jurors in civil court proceedings. There's 9.
Well, I'm
Second
saying,
of all,
I don't
so
know
do you mind if I
exact-
finish
sorry,
talking the same way I let you finish talking?
One off.
5,
yeah, I'll let you sentence.
4,
I'm just saying, my bad.
3, good boy. So you said that there was 8 jurors in civil court proceedings. There's 9. And then for my third point, you had asked me the standard of evidence that civil courts uphold. And I told you that they uphold a standard of evidence, that being a preponderance of evidence, right? And you told me that I was incorrect. So will you now please correct me, right, by informing me of what the true and real standard of evidence is?
Because you're
that civil
saying
courts uphold?
preponderance of evidence. I bet most of your viewers don't even know what that means. All that means is it's enough to persuade the claim. That's all that means. So what does that actually mean? That's not wrong. Anyone that's watching right now, Google preponderance of evidence and tell me the definition. What it means is it's enough to persuade the defendant's claim. That's all it means. So what is enough, Dean? Tell me what enough is.
Of course. Well, we could define a preponderance of evidence a little bit more strategically. A preponderance of evidence can be defined as more likely than not to have occurred. But what I would say about the specific civil court that upheld that Trump was guilty of grape, we'd say that the standard of evidence via the evidence submitted to the court proved that it had occurred beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt. And if you'd contest this, I'd merely ask you, name one piece of evidence that you have a reasonable doubt to, or name your reasonable doubt to all of the evidence submitted to the court.
Okay, why don't you tell me, since you want to go down, I just answered your first question. Now you want to ask another question on the question. So how many spirals do you want to go down? I'm trying to really get to the bottom of where you're taking this.
Sure. Well, you're making the claim that the court proceedings in which held Trump liable for grape were incorrect, politically motivated, without sufficient evidence. And right now I am questioning that by seeing how much you know about the case, if you could truly justify that claim. But we could take it a different route. What is one piece of evidence that the victim submitted to the court to prove to the jury that Donald Trump had raped her?
What is the name of the woman, Dean?
Oh, her name's E. Jean. What's her last name?
Wow, congratulations.
What's her last name? I answered her first and middle. What's her last?
What is
you
a
don't
woman?
Know it.
What is a woman?
You don't know.
Dean?
You don't know. You don't know it. What's her last name, sir? Don't.
No, what is a woman? Tell me
I'll tell you what a woman is if you tell me her last name. What's her last name?
Dean, what's a woman?
Okay, well, you don't know her last name. It's Carol, right? And under my worldview, I'd constitute a woman to be an adult human individual that would align with social categories and other characteristics typically associated with the female sex. Now we're going to go back to the first question I asked you that you never answered. Name one piece of evidence that E. Jean Carroll submitted to the civil court to prove to the jury that Donald Trump had raped her.
Well, let's go back further, because I told you all that was propaganda and politically motivated. So I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole with you, because it's all lies. And that's what the Democrats.
You're saying it's all lies, but I don't think you know any of it.
It is all
so name
lies.
One piece of evidence.
I'd respect you more if you held your party accountable. That's what I would do. But I get it.
I'm asking you to help me. Name one piece of evidence submitted to the civil court.
You're farming those same viewers that the media likes to propagandize, and they do it every single time. They do it every time. And this is what you do. You're farming them. You're farming all the Democrats.
Pickle, thank you for the money, and I appreciate you for the love, Pickle.
I understand. I would do the same thing if Democrats were pouring me money on Venmo.
Well, I mean, first of all, I haven't gotten a Venmo donation the entire time you've been up here. You just
first of all, I already.
And then second, hey, sir, while I speak, you listen.
Of evidence. I told you exactly the definition. You said I was wrong. So explain that.
Well, I mean, sure, because the definition of a preponderance of evidence is more likely than not to have occurred, right? And you could source this via like Cornell Law, you could source this via like Webster Dictionary, you could source this via court documents. When we're referencing a preponderance, it's more likely than not to have occurred, right? And then I don't really think that you're in any position of authority to be teaching me about the criminal justice system when you said that you're either taking a federal court or civil court. So civil courts can exist at the federal level, just like criminal courts can exist at the local county level liable, and you just simply don't know any of this.
Oh,
right?
I simply
but
know
further
all of
yet,
it. And
you
I
didn't
gave
know
you
the
the exact
victim's name.
definition of
5,
predominance of evidence.
4,
And with
3,
that, wait, is
2,
it my turn? I'm sorry.
1.
Is it my
No, it's
turn?
not your turn.
Okay,
It's not
my
your turn
turn.
because I was still good boy, right? And then on top of that, you didn't know the victim's name. I gave you her first and middle name, E. Jean. I asked you to give me her last name, Carol, and you couldn't. And then I asked you to name one piece of evidence that E. Jean Carroll submitted to the court to prove to the jury that Donald Trump had raped her, and you couldn't name a damn thing. So how come you're going to sit here and say it's all bastardized lies from the Democratic Party, political propaganda, a hit piece on your guy? Meanwhile, you don't even know what one piece of evidence was. Maybe if you could tell me what the evidence was that the jury used to hold him liable, and you could explain to me how it's insufficient in justifying the claim, I would grant more credence to your worldview.
Well,
But
great.
assuming that you were
My turn
willfully
now.
ignorant about the facts of the court case, about the evidence that the jury used to hold them liable, about her damn name, about the civil court proceedings or what a standard of evidence is, I don't think you have any room to talk. But please prove Dean wrong by telling Dean one piece of evidence that the victim submitted to the jury to hold Trump liable. My prediction is that this is going to be the last thing you do, and as soon as I stop talking and let you start talking, you will do anything but tell me one piece of evidence. So please prove me right, sir. I want you to run around in circles, pivot and deflect, and do anything but tell me one piece of evidence that the jury used to hold him liable.
All right, still waiting for my turn.
It's your turn, sir.
All right, so here's the evidence. How about the timing of the allegation and legal actions? So Carol's case seems suspicious from the start, so you can show it was propaganda just from the start, from the public eye, that they were preparing to re-elect Donald Trump. And this happens every time he runs for president, right? And you get to a year closer to when he's about to be elected, and all these claims start coming up. So Carol's lawsuit was brought years after the alleged incident, which caused
I love it. I love it when you guys
damage.
prove me right.
Political
I love it when you
damage.
guys prove me right.
So,
I love it when
proof
you
is
guys
the
prove me
timing of
right.
allegations. So if
I
you
love
look
it when
at
you
the
guys
timing
prove
of it
me
all,
right.
seems oddly convenient. And also the media coverage, they love to cover certain things and not the real truth. So the media coverage wants to publicize accusations of a civil court trial.
I love it when you prove me right.
Civil court already proved you right. Oh, you need more evidence? Sorry. So how
No,
about
I'm talking about a piece
political
of evidence
backing
that was.
of all
Hey,
this?
so sir, I'm just going to clarify this. I'm asking you for a piece of evidence that was literally submitted to the jury and recorded in the court documents that was used to hold Trump liable for rape. Right? When you go on tangents about evidence why you don't believe the court proceedings, such as the timing, media coverage, etc., you're not answering my question of one piece of evidence submitted into the court by the prosecutor, E. Jean Carroll, right, that the jury used to convict Trump. Okay, that's the question, right? And you know this. You're being willfully obtuse. But before I allow you to finish speaking, I got to thank my Democratic donors. Camille, thank you for the $30 on Venmo. Everybody, please show some love to Camille down below in the chat. Thank you so much for the $30, Camille. Savannah, thank you for the $5. Casey, thank you for the $1. Leah, thank you for the $5, saying thanks for being fierce. I appreciate you, Leah. Sydney with a $10 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Sydney. Cassidy with a $3. Laura with a $10. And Julie with a $6.66. Thank you guys so much. So do you want to directly answer my question?
I believe we're getting off topic. Hardly off topic. So let's get down to the main point.
No. You're going to
Oh,
answer my question or I'm going to kick you.
What was your question?
What's one piece of literal evidence that was submitted by the prosecutor, E. Jean Carroll, to the civil court, recorded in the court documents that the jury used to hold Trump liable for sexual abuse?
One piece of evidence. So you want one piece of evidence on why I think he wasn't liable. That's what you're asking.
No, that's not what I'm asking.
All right, what are you asking?
For one piece of evidence that was set forth by the prosecutor, E. Jean Carroll and her attorneys, submitted into the court and recorded by the court documents that was later then used by the jury to convict and hold Trump liable of rape. It's not a hard question. Do you understand? Kayla, thank you for the $1 on Venmo. And Goda, thank you so much for the $5 on PayPal. Thank you guys so much for the love. If you don't know, you could just say so. Well, we did it, Joe. We broke Dark MAGA. We broke Dark MAGA. Quite frankly, we broke Dark MAGA. We broke him. Well, while he's broken, we're going to go and get someone else up in here. I bet he's just like looking it up. Hey, what's up, Jake? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Hello?
Hi, Jake. So if you can't see me, I can't hear you. So you got to stay on. There you go. Yo, Shayna, thank you for the $30 on Venmo, saying thank you for being a great advocate. That is Shayna. That is Shayna. Thank you for the $30, Shayna. What's going on, Jake? W's for Shayna in the chat. Do you think that men are
I just
better
got a
leading
question
women?
for you. So you're like, you don't like Trump, right? You think he's a racist and all that, right?
I do.
So if you think he's a racist, on several occasions you've been caught saying the N-word. What is that not racist?
Well, you ask a great question. So yeah, it's been talked about in the last handful of months on Twitter, social media, and etc. that I used racial slurs when I was younger. Screenshots were posted of me saying how
that's
my.
that's
Hey,
an
do you mind if I
exception
finish
when
talking?
you're younger. When you're
No, I
younger,
wish
it
that you.
doesn't matter.
No, I wish that you'd let me finish talking.
All right, go ahead. No, I'll wait.
Sure. First of all, Catherine, thank you so much for the
Don't dodge the
$50
fucking
on
question,
PayPal.
Al. Come on, no, I put you on the spot. You like putting everyone else on the spot. I put you on the spot.
My BPM is still at resting, sir. If you just allow me to
Yeah,
finish to speak. Thank
now
you,
you're
Catherine.
quiet now. Now look who shut up real quick, huh?
No, I'm
This guy's
actually
a
not
baby.
quiet. You're just interrupting me. You muted yourself, I'll take it. So yeah, like screenshots that were posted of me using the N-word at 14, right? And I'll tell you the difference between me and Donald Trump, right? Because I was able, right, to progress my own character, learn through education, hold myself accountable, apologize, and then go on to share that same education with hundreds of thousands of people every day on TikTok. And the very specific difference between me and Donald Trump is nothing more than the simple fact that not only does Donald Trump have an incessant track record of racism since the 1970s, but it is the case that he's never apologized.
So did Joe
never
Biden.
held himself
So
accountable.
did Joe Biden, though.
And
Hold on, I want to
let's
hear
talk
more about
about
the racism that Donald Trump has. Please tell me more.
Yeah,
as soon as I finish answering Jake's question, we could get into that. Do y'all both mind if you could allow me a chance to finish speaking?
I got you. Yeah, you go right ahead there.
Thank you. So the difference between me and Donald Trump is that Donald Trump has an incessant history of racism since the 1970s until current day, has never apologized, never held himself accountable, and still perpetuates it today, right? And I love it when like Republicans bring this up. It's because it is literally the worst gotcha that always backfires, because it proves that a 20-year-old white boy on TikTok can hold himself to a higher level of accountability than the next goddamn president of our country. And that is an issue. But Catherine, thank you for the $50 donation on PayPal. I really appreciate you for the love, Catherine. Everybody, please show some love to Catherine down below in the chat right now. And Leah, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. And Devin, thank you for the $10 on Venmo as well. And Anna with the $5 and Sierra with the $10. Thank you guys so much for the love. And Kimberly, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo as well. W's for Kimberly in the chat. But please go ahead and give me your cogent intellectual.
Yeah, I mean, like, I get it, you apologize and everything, but there's a lot of people that apologize for shit that doesn't really mean anything, you know what I mean? Like, it really doesn't mean anything. You still said it, which Donald Trump has never been caught saying the N-word, which is 10 times worse than anything he's ever said. I really
well,
don't
I mean,
think...
so it's not just like the apology attribute, right? It's more so holding yourself accountable and actively changing your character, right? And then second of all, he literally has been caught saying the N-word. There's been multiple producers from the Apprentice TV show that have reported on it. Not to mention that he also called all black people lazy in 1991, reported that was probably something that he said in 1997.
Yeah, what was Joe Biden saying?
One moment. We're talking about me and Trump. In 1973, he denied housing applications to black people because of the color of their skins, right? In 2011 through 2016, he said that Barack Obama was not born in America, but he was rather born in Kenya because of his race, even though he had a birth certificate out of Hawaii. He also said that migrants are the scum that are poisoning the blood of our country, which is a line from the Mein Kampf. He said that the Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio were eating family pets and were illegal, even though they are in our country through legal purposes, and they were not eating family pets and dogs, with non-profit Haitian organizations now suing him for hate speech. It's also the case that he said that Kamala Harris was a black prior.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but there's video body cam of police footage of people eating dogs and cats. So you're completely wrong. That's proven true.
So how do you know that they're an undocumented Haitian migrant?
Because they were documented. Have you watched the video?
Oh, I've seen the video. But how do you know that the person in that video is an undocumented Haitian migrant?
I didn't go that deep into it, yeah, but I wouldn't assume a regular fucking citizen in that town is just picking up a cat and taking a bite out of it, you know?
So now you're just assuming like the same racism that Donald Trump has.
But you don't care about pet
crimes, and then you ultimately,
So what? You're just gonna pick up a cat and start fucking eating it?
Dean doesn't love pets.
Well, I'm
confirmed.
certainly not going to pick up a cat and start eating it, but I'd say it's racist of you to assume that because someone ate a family dog or pet, that they're not a U.S. citizen and they're
Whatever.
an undocumented migrant from Haiti.
But besides that,
pulling a
so-
JD Vance. Holy fuck.
Besides all that, all the racist
And then
stuff that
I should
Trump
also
said-
just want to let you know that that is actually a U.S. citizen in Kenton.
Okay, cool. All the racist stuff that Trump said, Kamala's done too. She had fake positives that she admitted putting innocent people in jail over weed.
Okay,
And
well, now I gotta
most of
kick
those
you 'cause you
people were
said the name of a
African
drug.
American.
But it's actually not true. So no one. So she was prosecuting using the federal law, using the state law at the time. 45 individuals were sent to jail, right? And they didn't record race or gender stats. So you just lied to us. But chat, everyone, let's just get some laughing faces. Let's get some laughing faces in the chat to absolutely laugh at how the fake manufactured outrage from the right completely backfires on them with that talking point.
Well, the right got
anyways-
Donald Trump elected, so I don't think it backfired too hard.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah. And just because your guy is supported by majority of America doesn't mean that he's the better candidate. I mean,
So
straight
what
up, do
what
you think that
consider
Biden was a better candidate for the
Because we wanna
last 4
talk
years
about-
because
you care
he
about
was
your
supported by
country,
more
Dean.
Americans
Do you
than
care
Trump?
about your country?
Unlike Donald Trump, I care about my country.
Okay, what's your stance on immigration? Do you think we should have illegals pouring over and flooding into our country?
No, I'm not Donald Trump. I wouldn't have torpedoed the bipartisan border bill in the House and the Senate,
Hold
so
on,
more
no.
undocumented
Ask you
migrants
a
would come into our
question.
country.
Before
My
you-
personal
no,
stance on
answer a
immigration
question
is that we
without
need to
saying Donald
reform our
Trump.
legal
Answer a
systems
question
into our
without saying
country.
Donald Trump.
My
Answer a
personal
question
stance on
without saying
personal
Trump.
stance on abortion is that we need to reform the legal processes of migration into our country. We need to make them significantly faster. We need to make them significantly safer so we could crack down more on undocumented migration in the future when our legal systems are up to par, right? And it is the case that making our legal systems up to par will significantly reduce the incentivization for undocumented migration into our country. And I believe a point that no politician on the right has talked about in the last 30 years is we have to crack down on the U.S. citizens trafficking drugs and children across the southern border working with the cartels in Mexico. 85% of the drugs that are trafficked across our southern border are trafficked by U.S. citizens because they're not put under enough scrutiny at the border because of the radicalization from the Republican Party, right, that has promoted only prejudice and scrutiny against non-citizens coming across. And the cartels have taken advantage of that fact. And Aaron, thank you for the $10 on Venmo to interrupt Dark MAGA. I appreciate you for the love, Aaron. Everybody, please show some love to Aaron down below in the chat.
All right,
Thank you
so
much.
maybe we wouldn't have the radicalization if, first of all, the Biden-Harris administration didn't pass all these executive orders that hurt the wall and stop the progress Donald Trump was doing, which we would have had. We would have had progress and we would have been able to vet these people that are coming in the country, right? If we kept on the same path Donald Trump was on. So all the Biden-Harris administration, all they did was pass laws that stopped the construction of the wall. They stopped the Remain in Mexico policy. These are executive orders, by the way. So if they really cared about the border and wanted a path to make it better with all these illegals crossing in, why would they do that?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, they ended the Remain in Mexico policy, A, because it only impacted 60,000 people, B, because it was ineffective and we only saw numbers increase after it was implemented. Crystal, thank you for the gym gun. And C, it was a humanitarian crisis. And D, because Mexico wouldn't agree to renew it for another 5 or
So
10
question
years.
on that,
And then E, no, stop. And then E, when you're talking about Trump's border wall, did you know that the bipartisan border bill that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden influenced to get passed through Congress and Senate, right, in 2022, 2023, that was torpedoed by Trump telling Republicans to vote against it because he didn't want the Democrats to look good, actually included funding for a border wall.
All right,
So it is a case that blood is on Trump's hand
this is
for
not good when you
torpedoing
speak
the
30
further
lies, and then
construction
I have
of his
to
own
answer all
border
of them.
wall because he wanted the crisis to continue so he could get your vote a week ago.
Okay, so Donald
Katie, thank you for the
Trump-
$10 on Venmo to fuel the
No,
communist
go ahead,
propaganda
finish.
machine. Thank you for the $10, Katie.
Okay, first of all, I disagree with the border bill. Second of all, Donald Trump, you're saying he
Kimberly,
called
thank you for the
Republicans to turn down
$5
the
on
bill.
Venmo. Thank you.
So those same Republicans, 200 Republicans that backed Harris, that she said in a debate, I have 200 Republicans that are backing me right now. Oh, so are those the ones that you're talking about, Dean? The ones
No.
backing Harris and the Biden administration? I think
No, they
you
wouldn't be.
are. Trump's not with the Biden
No, the
administration. He's not
200
with-
the 200
he's not with
Republicans that were spoken
Republicans.
about on the list are going to be
Wait,
legacy
hold on, let me
Republicans
finish, Dean.
that have
5,
served in our
4,
government over the course of
3,
the last 5, 10,
4,
15, 20,
3,
25, 30 years.
2,
Not necessarily
Dean,
the
hold on.
Republicans in
I'm
Congress
talking,
right
Dean.
now.
I'm talking. First of all, let's calm down a second. All right.
I'm sorry
So
for
those
correcting you,
Republicans,
misinformation.
how can you say Trump called Republicans to turn them down when, first
I
of
heard
all,
we're
all those
spreading communist
Republicans
propaganda.
are backing Harris? Second of all, second point I'm going to make, when you have all these Democrats that are flipping sides to Trump, such as Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr. Oh, so is this actually a Republican Party, Dean, now? What is this? Because all the
Tarina, thank you for the
Republicans don't even
$5
back
on Venmo
Trump.
to interrupt the guest. Thank you for the love, Tarina.
What about the people a part of Trump's administration? What about the people specifically that we can relate to on the Republican side that at higher numbers specifically voted for
Parker.
Kamala
You
Harris
can't
than
come
what
in
you would
hot
see
like
Democrats
this.
specifically on
You're
the
not
left?
even going to say hello
Democrats
first.
that you're referencing,
Very
Democrats that you're
rude of you.
referencing are conspiracy brain rotted.
Very
I don't
rude
care.
of
I
you,
don't care.
Parker,
I came here
coming
to
hot.
I came here to
was
spread
Nilo, thank you for the
I was
galaxy,
debating
Nilo.
Dean, not Parker.
I came here to spread the communist propaganda just like Dean, okay?
Well, why don't you say hello first, Parker? Why don't you be respectful?
Because I don't care about you.
Oh, I don't care about you either. So how am I going to listen to you
He's
still
so
on a
real.
rant when I'm up here on Dean's
Evo,
live?
thank you for the turkey face.
Well, because I
appreciate you
have
for
the ability
love.
to come up on Dean's Live when I want.
Oh, so do I apparently, because I'm here too. So why don't you sit down, mute
What?
down,
What'd you
and
say?
mute yourself, and let me talk.
Huh?
Okay, so back to the
What?
executive.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So
Good
no,
boy.
no, Parker. So now I'm debating you. What's your stance on illegal immigration, and why do you think the Biden administration handled it
Well,
better?
Okay, yeah. So specifically, they wanted a bipartisan border bill that would have built more wall than Trump ever built under his administration. It would have capped the amount of people coming in the country. It would have increased the amount of immigration judges, making the asylum process go faster, and increased the amount of border agents. Right. That specifically is exactly what conservatives wanted. Specifically, that's why people like Bernie Sanders voted against it.
All right, do I get to talk now, or do you want to still rant?
That wasn't a rant. That was
Okay,
three
good,
sentences.
no, it is a rant.
good boy
Because
for staying
first of all,
silent.
I said I disagree with the bill. So if you're okay with sending $60 billion to Ukraine and then allocating billions of dollars
got passed
overseas,
anyway.
why are we sprinkling a fancy name on a border bill? Why don't you hold your party more accountable and actually protect the border and not put billions of dollars to Ukraine and sending $10 billion to Gaza and the West Bank and having
Hey, Doc.
4,000 to 8,000 incurrence of enforcement of people crossing the border before they shut it down?
Dark
can you
Max,
say
that got passed
about the
either way.
border?
That got passed
So-
either way. You
Yeah, do
understand
you
that,
want
right?
to talk about the bipartisan border bill with funding to other countries? So you're right.
The
And let's switch
scam
the
bill,
person. Hey,
absolutely.
do you mind if
This
you allow
guy.
me to finish talking? Do you have a
Yeah,
problem,
no, I
bro?
just want you to hold your party accountable.
Aaron, thank you for the $10 on Venmo to interrupt the guest again. Thank you for the love, Aaron.
How
I'm
can
gonna
you
finish
hold?
talking now.
How can you hold your party accountable
I'll let you
better?
finish.
Because when you have a fancy name called a border bill, but it's 940 pages, and you have on Division A the first page is 5 to 10, and it talks
Ah, shut up.
I was gonna let him
60
finish.
billion
Just let him finish.
Ukraine, 60
I know
billion
you're done.
Ukraine.
Get
Just
it
go
all.
for it,
No,
dude.
no,
I got
Parker,
you.
let him get it all out. Let him get it all out. I want him. I want to let him
okay.
get it all out.
I just have a headache, dude, already.
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
Darko,
you know,
are you
Parker,
done? So I
no
can-
one asked
so I
you to
can
come up
respond?
here. So, like you said, you joined freely to come up here, and you have a headache. That's your own problem. So, first of all, we're
No,
sending
it's you.
billions to Ukraine. How is that
What have I
a
talked
border
about?
bill? We're
I
talking
hear you.
about securing the border and all the illegals. How is
I
that
hear
a
you, man.
border bill?
I will respond to you as soon as you stop talking.
Go ahead, your turn.
Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about it. You're right in the sense that the bipartisan border bill, right, supported by Langford and had bipartisan support, did include funding towards other countries. So only $20 billion of the bill, right, was going towards the border. There was another $100 billion in the bill going towards other countries. But here's the issue. Because when Trump called them and told them to torpedo it, they only torpedoed the border provisions. All $100 billion going towards other countries like
think it was like 80
Israel,
actually.
Gaza, and Ukraine were passed. They were passed and they were signed into law on April 24th, 2024, public law number 115-50. Okay? Right? And then after
Only
the fact,
20 billion.
Chris Murphy,
You know-
then after the fact, Chris Murphy, a Democrat senator, formed a coalition because he had the same thought that you did. He thought that the reason they torpedoed it was because it didn't solely focus on the border. So Chris Murphy got together with Langford and they drafted a solo border bill with no funding towards any other countries and only the original border provisions listed in the first one. And guess what? It died on the House floor because word got around that Trump didn't want it. Oh, wow. Dude, wait, yo, this is W? He got his account perm banned. Yeah, he got his account perm banned.
That's rough, dude. Jeez.
No. Yo, unmute your mic, man. We can still hear you after you get your account perm toasted.
Thank you, TikTok gods. I really appreciate it. Thank you, TikTok
Yo,
gods. I
Grace,
appreciate
thank you for the
TikTok
$5 on Venmo. I appreciate you, Grace. Thank you for the love. And Emily, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Emily, yo, mute and unmute your mic. I don't think the chat could hear you. But Emily and Grace, thank you guys for the love. I don't think the chat could hear you. I literally don't think the chat could hear you. You have to mute and unmute your mic.
Nope, he's cooked. He's muted
Yeah,
forever.
I think he's muted forever.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, I appreciate you for coming up, man, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Hi.
Hey, what's going on? How old are you?
I'm 22.
You're 22. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Okay, I looked up some stuff while I've been listening to the debate, and I have some statistics pulled up about CEOs, like women CEOs versus men CEOs.
I just want to clarify. Are you going to use these statistics to support your view that men are better at leading than women?
No, I think that I don't think there's
So do you think that men are better at
evidence-
leading than women?
No, not necessarily. I don't think there's enough.
I do appreciate you for coming up, and thank you so much for your time. We are just looking to debate people that do think that men are better at leading than women.
What,
And Marion, I appreciate you for the $2 on Venmo.
what,
Hey, what's up? How old are you? Hello? All right, they're not there. All right, we're going to move on to our next guest, guys. Please make sure if you are in the queue that you do think that men are better at leading than women. And what is going on, Parker? I hope that you've had a good day. But for the
Yeah, it's been
11.3 thousand people hanging out with us in here, if you do want to support me or Parker, our Venmos, PayPals, and Cash Apps are in the bio. What's up, Aaron? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
First off, I just want to say, like, I didn't come on here to talk about that, but I just wanted to ask you a question, like, personally. Like,
Aaron, I do appreciate you for coming up, Aaron, and I'd highly implore you to join my Discord, and I would love to be able to talk to you in there, but we are just running debates on here today, but thank you so much for your time. Please, guys, right, I will kick people out that are not here to debate, and it makes me feel really, really, really bad, and I hate it so much because I love you guys so much, so please just don't even hop in the queue the first time. And Mira, thank you for the hand arts. What's up, Kyle? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Yes, but I would like to challenge you on the premise of your question because I think to me Hillary won the popular vote in 2016, and I think obviously the premise of your question that you think the majority of America voted for Trump because we have like ingrained misogyny within our men throughout this country, which I think
that's definitely. I'm literally just asking you why you think men are better at leading than women.
Well,
so why do you think men are better at leading than women?
I just think instinctively we have maybe better leadership skills. Not to say that a woman couldn't lead.
Sure, like what? Like what skills do men have that women don't, or what skills do men have to a higher degree than women that make them better at leading? And Hillary, thank you for the money again. I appreciate you for the love.
Well, I just think in terms of like if we're just going to strictly talk about the presidency, so like Trump is going to be able to go to countries that unfortunately have a lot of misogyny, especially like a Russia or a China where women are suppressed like almost to like a criminally level degree. They wouldn't respect Kamala just because of the fact she is a woman. Here's the issue. Here's the issue with the argument. Because you first told me that you just literally think that men are innately better leaders than women, right, because of instinctive differences. But now you're making the argument that men are better at leading than women because they'll be better respected because misogyny exists. So I'll just go ahead and hit on both those fronts. For the first argument, I just ask you what the instinctive differences are between men and women that make men better at leading. And then for the second front, racism against black people exists on the global stage, right, meaning that we could qualify people would typically have more respect for a white leader because of racism, but that doesn't lead us to the conclusion that white people are better at leading than black people. All right, I'll give you the second point because I agree with you on that second point for sure. So I'll
what
give
are the
you that.
instinctive differences that make men better at leading than women?
Just I don't know how to explain it. I think within men we have an innate ability to want to serve and to protect people. I just think that's just within our instincts. I think it's like,
if men had an innate desire to protect people, how come men commit 95% of all violent crimes, including but not limited to sexual abuse, domestic abuse, kidnapping?
well, there's a bunch of sociological factors you have to bring up there. It's just not, that statistic is too like broad without mentioning a bunch of other factors that can lead to that. There's a lot of mental health factors that lead to it. Donald Trump is himself, we could all tell, is someone who needs help, who needs to go see someone. I think a lot of these.
Okay, so you're just saying that men have more mental health issues than women that make them worse at protecting. So I mean, that disputes your own claim.
Yeah, but I don't think that's fair though, just because there's a lot of trauma involved with a lot of men. Not to say that women don't experience trauma. I'm not saying that
So
at
then
all.
why are men better at leading than women?
Well, back to my original point. Like I just said, like I think it's just based off the pure fact that our instincts to lead are better than. I just think that's why
You're just saying, so you're saying that men are better at leading than women because men are better at leading than women. That doesn't tell me anything.
Kyle, the instinct you have there in terms of the argument you just used wasn't very great. So how is that indicative of good leadership?
Also, leadership is a learned skill, not an instinct.
There are some people who are natural leaders that are born to just be leaders. It's been.
And I dispute that. I'm asking you why men are natural leaders. Like what are the specific differences in the instincts? Like what are men better at than women? What do men possess that women don't? Like you got to answer this question. If you can, I'm just going to kick you and move on. Because when you just say men are better at leading because they're more instinctually driven to lead, you're literally just saying men better at leading because men better at leading, right? That doesn't give me any depth of your position.
All right.
It doesn't give me any reason to believe that it's
understand.
true, and that doesn't give me anything to cogently rebuttal because you're just repeating the premise, right, as your reason to believe that the premise is true.
Okay, so let's go to physically number one because I think
self-evident.
I think. All right, Parker. What's with the dissing, man? I was being respectful this whole time.
Physicality. So are you going to say that you think men are better at leading than women because they're typically like physically stronger on average?
Yeah, just genetically and on average, yeah. But I'm not saying mentally wise. There isn't. I think both mentally in terms of mental cogency, they're on par. I don't think men are any smarter than women at all.
I'm going to ask you two questions.
Okay.
Did you vote for Trump?
Yes.
Would you vote for a 15-year-old on steroids that can bench press 500 pounds over Trump because he's physically stronger, thereby better at leading?
No.
Okay. Disputed.
Okay.
And Richard, thank you for the $10 donation on PayPal. I really appreciate you for the love, Richard. Everybody show some love to Richard down below in the chat for the $10 on Venmo. And your mom, thank you so much for the money gun. So what you just told me is that physical strength does not equate to leadership.
That's not why Trump won, though, in the first place. Was because he was a man or because he was a man. It was because...
It's unrelated to the topic that we're discussing.
All right. Well, that's why I came up here. I didn't want to debate this topic because I honestly do think like men and women are on par. I don't really believe in that argument, but.
Oh, well, I appreciate you for coming up, man. We're going to move on to our next guest here, guys. If you are in the queue, make sure that you do think that men are better at leading than women. We are just looking for some more debates here today. And make sure that we're double tapping away on that phone screen. And everybody, please do show some love to Richard for the $10 donation on PayPal down below in that chat. We're going to move on. Thank you for the Panther pause. I do really appreciate that. Parker, what time are you going live today? You're on pretty early.
Probably by 12 or something. Cause what's it called? I'm gonna get off earlier today.
Same. What's up, Miss Black? Do you think that men are better at leading than women? Miss Black, hello? Thank you for the Panther pause. All right, Miss Black is not yours.
Hello.
Hi, do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Holy shit. Why do you think that men are better at leading than
Can
women?
you hear me? Wait, you're asking for a topic and then you're saying holy shit when I give my response?
I'm sorry. Okay. Now, why are men better at leading than women? I don't know. It's just surprising to hear come
can
from
we
a woman.
start off with how the man ran his campaign and how the woman ran hers? Do you want to start with that?
So here's my issue. I think that Kamala Harris ran a slightly better campaign than Donald Trump. But even if I also agreed with you and thought that Donald Trump ran a better campaign than Kamala Harris, that doesn't tell us anything about the general abilities and attitudes.
You're asking for my opinion, and I was going to give it to you. Do you want to know why?
So if I take a man and a woman, and the man, right, doesn't have a job, doesn't have leadership skills for jack shit, right, but then the woman is a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, right, we would attribute better leadership qualities to that woman, but we can't take this micro scale of one man compared to one woman, right, and use that, conflate it to an overall macro argument that women are better at leading than men. So you wouldn't be able to do that in the context of Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, even if Donald Trump is a better leader than Kamala Harris, but I still dispute that premise.
But I didn't even give you the premise. I didn't even explain why I'm saying this. Do you want me to, or do you want to keep talking?
I'd love to hear you explain it.
Okay. So you're running for president as a female. Why in God's name am I allowed to say God? I don't want to get kicked.
You could say God.
Okay. Why in God's name would you have the entire P. Diddy list come out and endorse you? What was she thinking?
You know that Trump was like good friends with Diddy and Epstein, and like said Epstein was a terrific guy and he likes beautiful women as much as he does many of them on the younger side.
Okay, Parker, first of all, I can't. I'm
Trump
talking
just
to
endorsed
Dean right
Diddy.
now.
Parker's
Can I
not gonna
finish? And
I literally just made one
fine.
point. I just
He's
literally made
friends-
one point.
He was friends with Diddy in the 90s or the early whenever he was. I get that. But did he have Diddy followers like Leonardo DiCaprio come out and endorse him? That was a boner move on her part.
So typically,
And
like
that's
for people that are running for
why
president, don't
I
choose
think
their endorsements.
a man is better to lead our country or anything for that matter.
Or I think for the $5 on Venmo. So
She
typically, like
has
people
lost.
running.
Why
Hey,
would she
can I
have
talk?
Cardi B and J-Lo? J-Lo giving us advice, warning us about Trump, but never spoke up against Diddy. Can you explain that? Go ahead. Your turn.
Thank you. Yeah. So first
Your
of all,
turn.
typically people that are running for president don't choose their endorsements. I bet that Donald Trump didn't choose the endorsement of what was it, David Duke or David Dennis, the founder of the KKK, right? And then sorry, not the founder, the current leader of the KKK. And then like secondly, like once again, I'm gonna repeat this, and I want to see if you could track. I think it's objectively true that Kamala Harris is a better leader than Donald Trump, and there's many reasons that I would say that. But that aside, even if Trump was a better leader than Kamala Harris, ran a better campaign, would be better for the presidency, etc., you cannot use that to speak towards the general behaviors and attitudes of men and women as a whole. I think it's objectively true that I would be a better leader than you.
Wait,
and
you
using your
can't
logic-
use that or I can't use that?
No one can use it. I think that I would be a better leader
Excuse
than
me,
you.
but last I checked, we live in a free country, and I can use anything I want.
Hey,
right?
he's not saying that you can't like.
Well, that's
like,
what
legally
he said.
speaking.
He said you can't.
Listen.
God.
He's not saying you can't legally. He's saying that you shouldn't do so if it is the case that you want to be reasonable, or you can't do so if you want to be reasonable.
Okay, alls I can go off of is what
I'm going
I've
to demonstrate
heard
to you why
with
you're wrong.
my
Are you
own
more intelligent than
ears.
me? Are you more intelligent than me?
5, 4. Can I talk? I was talking.
I just want to prove my point. Are you more intelligent than me?
What? Okay. I don't know. Do you want to sit down and maybe you and I could each take an IQ test? What does
I don't
why do you
think
have
we need to do that to evaluate
Why
the
do
scenario.
you start with the belittling and the putting down?
This is
That
I'm
shows
literally
your age. Yes, it does.
I'm literally not
You start off with
that's Trump's
everyone
main thing.
saying, "I'm
Trump
smarter
literally
than you.
Trump
I
literally
know
has a
more
name
than
for
you
everyone.
do."
Trump has a
Okay.
name for every single
We're
person
talking
that he
about
debates
me
against.
and my feelings and
Sleepy
what I
Joe.
believe.
Miss Black. I want to make it
Communist
known that
Kamala.
believe.
That's
That's
what he
what we're
says.
talking
Her name
about.
is
Miss Black,
Kamala, and he
I would like
purposely
it-
pronounces her name incorrectly.
Who
I'd like to let it be
cares?
known.
No one can
Hey.
pronounce my name right.
Miss
Well,
Black,
No
I would
one.
like it. I
Wait,
wanna
you
make my
understand that he
point. I would
purposely
like to speak.
mistakes it. He purposely does wrong. Sorry.
No, you're good, Parker. I'm more so focused on Miss Black not letting me speak, not you. You're good. Miss Black, my
Yes.
point with asking if you were more intelligent than me was because I was expecting you to say yes, and then I would have followed that up by saying, okay, does that mean that all women are more intelligent than all men? No.
No,
Right?
no,
So,
no one's
so when you
saying
say that
that.
Donald Trump is a better leader than Kamala Harris, not only are you factually wrong, objectively so, but
I'm
even if
wrong.
you were-
More than half of the country is right. They all.
even if you were right, that still wouldn't conclude that all men are better at leading than all women. Like if I ran for president against you, I would win. That would not lead to the conclusion that men are better at leading than women. That would lead to the conclusion that Dean is better at leading than Miss Black. So what reasons do you have to conclude
Who
that
built
men
the
are
first
better at leading than women?
automobile? Who
built
flew the first
automobile?
plane? I could go
Men,
on
men.
and on.
And who birthed all of those men?
People like me.
Who raised them?
People like
Who
me.
was given the labor specifically domestically within the household to ensure that
What
those
does
people
that
had an education,
even-
those people knew what they were doing when they got older.
Okay, what does that even have to do with
What
what
do you
I'm
mean? What does that have to
talking
do?
about?
You
I'm
credit the
telling
entirety
you,
of human
it is
invention specifically to
proven
men, but you don't
that
acknowledge women
men
engaging
are
in all of those?
physically and mentally stronger than most women. Not all, most women. Women
Okay.
tend to
Okay,
get
challenge that.
emotional, okay? And men are less emotional.
Do you see my
I
arm?
would like to challenge that.
Do you see my arm?
Well,
I
she
don't
made the
even
claim
want
that
Parker. If
she
I
made the
wanted
claim
to
that
talk to
typically men
you,
are
I
physically
would have
stronger
got
than
on
women.
your live. You're
No,
irrelevant
Parker
right
can.
now. I'm speaking to
He's
Dean.
disgusting. So I'd like
I
to
know.
make a challenge
I'm
really
known for being
simple.
irrelevant.
Okay, bye.
I'm known for not
I'm
being
glad
known.
you're
That was
okay.
funny. That was funny, Parker. And it just went right over her head.
Mercedes, thank you for the $8.
So now you're telling me that men are better at leading than women for two qualities: physical strength and mental strength. So about
Yes.
physical strength, I don't think that physical strength will ever determine one's leadership ability.
Okay.
Did you vote for Trump?
What do you think?
I bet you did. Would you vote for a
Obviously.
15-year-old?
I'm
Would you
not
vote
a.
for? Hey,
Have
Miss
you
Black.
seen the people that voted for Kamala and what they're
Hey,
saying? They're all
Miss
going to wear
Black.
blue bands and boycott.
Would you vote for a 15-year-old on steroids that can bench press 500 pounds over Trump because he's physically stronger, and you think that physical strength is indicative of better leadership qualities?
Generally speaking, men, okay, are stronger than women.
I know, you're right, they are. Now
Body,
answer my questions.
mind, body, and soul.
So I'm asking
Okay.
you about not about mind, but no, just body. Just
Oh
body. Typically,
God.
men are physically stronger than women. You're right. So would you vote for a
And men,
15-year-old?
you don't think men get less emotional? Okay, you guys get emotional, but have you looked at Tanisha? She's over the
Okay.
top emotional. She's a woman.
Hey, don't
Say her name
mispronounce
correctly. Say her name
I don't-
correctly. It's Tashika.
Hey, first of all, like I heavily don't fuck with Tashika. Right? She literally called for my public execution.
But
don't
literally
mispronounce
say her name correctly.
Yeah, don't mispronounce her name. And then secondly, right, that has nothing to do with her gender. That has nothing to do with her gender identity. That has nothing to do with her biological sex, right? And stop the microaggressions against black women by intentionally mispronouncing her name. But now I'm going to go ahead and respond to your claim here. So I asked you about physical strength, right? You never answered my question. Obviously, physical strength doesn't determine leadership abilities. There is not one leadership position in America that's predicated solely off of physical strength, and you would not vote for a 15-year-old on steroids because he could bench press more weight than Donald Trump. Now, about mental fortitude, if men are mentally stronger than women, how come men commit 95% of all violent crimes, 73% of all self-unalivings, 85% of all substance abuse, right, that is tangent to recklessly dealing with unprocessed emotions, are much more likely to engage in irrational risk-adverse behaviors such as drunk driving, gambling, or reckless driving. And then we see women much more likely to excel, right, where mental fortitude is required, such as academics, getting a degree, or even being a surgeon. We have a study from the American Medical Association in conjunction with the Journal of the American Medical Association that indicate that you are less likely to experience negative postoperative outcomes if you're operated on by a female compared to a male. And this is because women are literally biologically pre-designed to deal with stress and pain better than men. Right? They have thicker dendrites in the context of their neuroanatomy, evolutionarily derived from childbirth, that allow women to deal with stress and pain better than men. Not to mention that they just have higher EQs on average.
Okay. Men have more DUIs. Men commit more crimes. Men commit more. How many men put their baby?
Kaylee, thank you for the $10 on Vim. I appreciate you for the love, Kaylee. Everybody, please do show some love to Kaylee down below in the chat. And Aurora, thank you for the $5 as well.
How many men put their babies in the backseat of a car and drove off a bridge? Huh?
What?
That's an emotional freaking meltdown. How many? Do that. Look that up. How many men killed themselves with their children or killed their children?
We actually just saw a man.
How many women did that? Can you
A
tell me?
lot.
Give me a percentage.
A lot. I don't know.
Then why are you asking us?
I've never saw a story where
If anything, I would think that I would think that men are more. If anything, I would think men are more likely to neglect and abuse their kids.
Okay. Did you hear what I said?
I actually don't know. I actually don't know if that's right.
I didn't say
but I mean that's
neglect
typically
and
because under
abuse.
traditionalism,
I'm talking about
men
the
don't
women
raise
you
the
hear
kids.
killing their children.
I'd have to
Okay,
see the
Tell me a
statistics on that.
man that has done that compared to women. Come
So
on.
I like how you didn't respond or
women-
address any of my points.
women
I'm gonna
are
I'm gonna go ahead and give you hey Miss
emotional.
Black. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go ahead and give you one last opportunity to address my first point that you brought up to do with physical strength. Who would you rather vote for? A 15-year-old on steroids that could bench press 500 pounds or Donald Trump?
I'm not doing hypotheticals with you. Tell
I'm
me
literally
something
giving a
real.
hypothetical to test your
Tell
logic.
me
That is very
something
real.
real.
That
Like
is very real.
who would I rather vote for? Hillary Clinton or like I'm not doing
Kristen, thank you for the $5 on
hypotheticals.
Venmo.
You know who I voted for? Donald Trump.
Yeah, but
Okay, so-
like we're trying to test your reasoning. We're trying to get you to be able to think through different thought
Well, you're trying
experiments.
to change my mind, and you're
listen.
not.
Hey, because you have a closed mind, and what we're telling you is that you actually do
Not
have an
closed.
listen. What we're telling you is you actually do have an open mind. It's just the beliefs that you have, right, have made you very defensive against any critiques of it. Okay, so we're just giving you reasonable critiques of your worldview. And if you find that as an issue, it's because your ideology has taught you that reasonable critiques of your worldview are bad and shouldn't be reconciled with.
Lulu, thank you for the $11 and the 11 cents on Venmo. Thank you so much, Lulu. That is LOULOU. Thank you so much for the love, Lulu. So the reason I'm asking you this question, Miss Black, is because if you thought that leadership qualities were predicated on physical strength, you'd rather vote for the 15-year-old over Trump because he's physically stronger. But obviously, you'd vote for Trump over the 15-year-old. What does this tell us? That leadership is not predicated on physical strength. And Courtney, thank you for the $15 on PayPal. I appreciate you so much for the love, Courtney. Everybody show some love to Courtney down below in the chat. Thank you for the love, Courtney.
Do you want me to talk?
I want you to respond to that.
No, it's like, no, Parker, rude. You know, the other night after the election, when I saw the look on your face and I said someone needs to do a welfare check on you, was so devastating. I felt so bad for you. But now you're just back to being smug,
Melissa, thank you for the
Parker.
love on
with
that.
your
I'm sorry that we have
It's
things that
really
we fight for.
awful. It's really
I'm
awful
sorry that
because
on my side we actually have things we fight for. We fight for people's rights. We fight for economic policy that
Okay, I
benefits the
can't
middle class.
talk.
Your
They
side,
won't let me
what does
talk.
your side fight for? What
You
policy?
won't let
What
me
rights?
talk. You won't let me talk.
Wait,
I
would you say
felt
that Parker's
bad
very
for
smug and
you.
emotional?
I felt bad for you, and look at
Bro,
you now.
Miss
You're
Black,
just
please
back
just
to the
please,
same jerk.
with all due respect, bro, I'm literally just trying to give you an argument and you're not responding to it. Like, I'm gonna give you one last chance here, right? Who'd you rather
Are
vote
you
for?
gonna kick me?
Yeah, I will kick you if you don't engage with the argument.
Okay.
Because I'm
That's
not,
okay.
like, with all due respect, Miss Black, I'm not here to be your fucking therapist or your friend. I'm here to correct your worldview. So when you give me a point that you think
correct
men are
my
better at
worldview?
leading than women because,
See, I
like, on
can't talk.
average, men are typically
And then
physically
everyone will
stronger,
say I'm yelling.
and then I give
Don't
you a
let me
cogent
talk.
hypothetical to reduce that point to BS, and you don't even address it, right? It does kind of piss me off.
Because
So who'd you rather vote for? A
Can I
15-year-old that
talk?
can bench press 1,000 pounds or Donald Trump? Who's the
Donald
better
Trump.
leader?
Donald
Okay.
Trump.
So then you'd agree that leadership ability and skill is not predicated on how much you could lift.
Can you take into account why I said that? Like the things that she did trying to win us over were so over the top crazy. You're saying she can't pick who comes on a stage and gives her a hug? Yes, you can.
Now you're going back to Kamala Harris. We've already
Donald
addressed
Trump
this.
had someone go on stage and then say that Puerto Rico was a floating island of garbage.
Okay,
Do you think he's responsible for
understand.
that?
Please tell me you're not the person
Do you-
that goes to
wait,
a
do you
comedy
think he's
show
responsible-
and
wait.
gets offended when they
Wait.
say you look like a dork.
Oh, okay, wait. So
Give
I've
me a break. That
Okay.
was a skit. Have you ever watched
and
a
you understand that
comedian?
it still promotes racism and bigotry.
Okay. Well, at least he didn't screw little children.
Dove, I appreciate the $10. Well, he said he dated 10-year-old girl in 10 years, and he
Okay.
bragged about how he likes
You
dating younger
can't
women, like
apples
Jeffrey
and
Epstein does,
oranges.
because Jeffrey Epstein's such a terrific guy. That's
And he
what
also
that's what
boasted about
Trump
walking
said.
into the
And
changing rooms of half
oranges,
naked teenage
apples and
girls.
oranges.
He also bragged about
Okay.
walking into changing rooms of naked teenage girls because he quote unquote owns the place. He said his daughter's voluptuous. He said yeah to Howard Stern calling his daughter a piece of ass.
Let me know when
Voluptuous
you're
means
done,
sexually
Parker.
attractive and curvy, by the way. So he was calling his daughter sexually attractive.
Let me know when you're done so I can speak.
I'm done now.
I get it, but you don't. Let me ask both of you a question I want you to answer honestly. You don't think it's bizarre that every celebrity that was named in Diddy before they even spoke out for her came out and endorsed? You don't think that's a little bizarre?
Can you name three
A
of them?
little bit?
Can you name three of them?
Really? J-Lo? Beyonce? Leonardo DiCaprio?
Wait, I have a question. So you
Oh,
believe?
wait, no, answer mine.
I
This
hear
is
you, Kaylee.
exactly
Thank you for
what
the
you
Because,
$5
do.
because we
on
think
Venmo.
this is irrelevant because you don't acknowledge
It's
specifically the fact
irrelevant.
that Trump said that Diddy that he loves Diddy and then Trump's affiliations with
And I
Epstein.
said, I
So
acknowledge that. You didn't
You don't.
really?
I'd like to make a point.
I did
Miss Black.
acknowledge that.
Miss
And I
Miss
said,
Black,
yeah,
I'd like
but
to
he
make a
didn't
point.
have him come out on stage
Caitlin, thank you for the $2
and
on Venmo.
hug
Hey,
him and
so here's my
endorse
question.
him. There's a
Here's my-
difference.
Here's my question. So when you're referencing people like J-Lo, Leonardo DiCaprio, and like Beyonce as being involved with Diddy, right? You're gonna be basing this off of some low level of evidence and like hearsay, right? And you believe that it's true. But then as soon as it concerns E. Jean Carroll, right, who didn't just accuse Donald Trump of raping her, but then proved it in a court of law with a preponderance of evidence submitted to a jury that unanimously agreed with her, you reject it. So
Okay,
how come you pick and choose who you
now we're
believe
talking
and who you
about-
don't believe?
We're talking
Yes, Sar,
about.
thank you so much for the $25
we're
for saying no.
talking
Thank you so
about
much, Tess.
something
Thank you for the
totally
dollar, and
different
Ruby,
now.
thank you
You
for the
want to
$2.
talk about E.T.
Clara, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. I appreciate you for
You
the
want
love.
to talk about
And
her
Kayla, thank you for the
now? I'm
$5.
confused.
I'm
Sin, thank you so
questioning
much for the
your
dollar.
level
So
of
I can
evidence
do
that
that.
you use to determine that claims are true.
Do you
right?
know how? Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you know how many men she's accused of grape?
2.
7.
Name them.
That's not
7.
true. That's just
Name
wrong.
them. Name 'em.
Okay.
I want her to name them.
You don't
Graham,
think
thank you for the
something's
galaxy. I
weird
appreciate
with
you.
that?
Miss Black,
How-
name the 7 men that she's
How
accused.
much money did she get?
Miss Black,
you
I'm
know that
asking you a very
amount?
direct question.
She
Miss
didn't
Black,
get
I'm
anything
asking you a
prior to the
very direct
defamation.
question.
How much money did she get?
Hey,
after
I'm
she-
asking you a
Trump
very
defamed
direct
her.
question. Name the 7 men she accused.
I don't know the 7 men, and she
Because you're lying. She
They
didn't
don't- they're
accuse
innocent.
7
on
men.
public. I don't know. It just.
So how do you know that she accused 7 men
Did
then?
you read her book?
Yeah, where she accused one other man. That's why I said
Okay.
2.
Yeah.
So how,
There's
where is
6
this
other
7
men.
figure coming from?
And
Who
I don't
are
know
they?
their names. You can believe me or not believe me. Look it up.
Oh, well, I
Okay?
did look it
The
up. She's
number
only
is
accused 2
7.
men.
The number is she's only accused 2 men. Have you seen her?
You said 7. Is 7 less? Is 7 more or less than 2?
Oh my god.
Is there a big
No,
difference
do
between
you want-
7 and 2?
I said you're saying.
Also,
she only
assuming that
accused 2.
a woman that wants her grape is held accountable is a liar because she's been raped by multiple men. is
Okay,
fucking
how much
absurd.
money did she
Gang,
get
thank you for
paid?
the galaxy. I appreciate you for the love.
How much money
5
did she
For
get
Trump,
paid?
for Trump defaming her?
How much money?
For Trump defaming her?
Her defaming Trump?
No. Trump defaming her.
Amara, thank you for the $5
No.
on PayPal. I
Her
appreciate you for the
defaming
love,
Trump.
Amara. And Sin,
When
thank you
did
for the
she
$1 on
defame
Venmo as
Trump?
well.
By lies.
She proved it in a civil court. So
Okay,
defamation,
that means
categorically speaking,
nothing. That means nothing.
categorically speaking, defamation was applicable to Donald Trump in an objective sense based upon what currently exists under the law, and objectively was not applied to E. Jean Carroll. E. Jean Carroll did not defame Donald Trump because what she was saying is true. Rachel, thank you so much for the $50 from the DNC. Thank you so much, Rachel, for the $50 from the DNC. Thank you so much, Rachel. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
You guys.
Hey,
The
can you thank Rachel for
blinders need
donating to
come
Parker?
off.
Can you thank
for
Rachel from the
donating
DNC?
The blinders need to come off.
Do you hear what like the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Yeah, the blinders need to come off.
Okay, so could you thank Rachel?
Yeah, thank Rachel from the DNC.
Blinders need to come off.
You're so lost.
If you believe, I have a billionaire friend, and you know how many times he's been falsely.
Aaron, thank you for the $10 donation on Venmo from the DNC. I appreciate you for the love, Aaron.
That's what
Everybody
women
show some love to
do.
Aaron.
That's what women do to profit.
Oh, really? So then I just have a question here. I just have a massive fucking question here. What was one piece of evidence that E. Jean Carroll submitted to the civil court that you obviously have good reason to believe was not
Her
sufficient to prove
therapist
Donald Trump had
notes.
raped her?
Her therapist notes. We all know therapists are true and honest.
Oh,
Abigail,
okay.
think
Then
of
where are the
$2.
therapist notes from?
Come on. I can't. Okay, you guys
Sydney, thank you for the
explain to
$4 on
me
Venmo from the DNC, and
how
Amanda, thank you for the $2
somebody
on Venmo from the DNC.
shopping in a store while it is open, not after hours, with their young child, forcibly pushes someone. Where
Happy
was
birthday
his
to
daughter?
Marina. Happy birthday. I
You
hope you have a
ever
good
ask
birthday.
yourselves?
And
Do you
Mallory,
ever
thank you so much for the
peep out of the
$10. Thank you so much.
blinders to ask yourself that question, like a little peep under your mask, to wonder? There's always doubt. Wonder where was she? Where was his
Wait, I
daughter?
just have a question. Do you think that I'm a better leader than you because I'm a man and you're a woman?
Okay, no.
Brent, thank you for the money gun.
I'm
So doesn't this dispute
comparing.
the whole basis of your claim?
No, I'm comparing her with
Amara, thank you for the
him.
$5. Thank you so much.
So you wait.
That's
So
really what this is about, you guys.
oh,
It's not
so
about man
so
versus woman or
it
woman
literally is.
versus man. No,
Literally read
no.
the background of my
I know.
stream.
Yeah.
Wait,
because
Miss
it
Black, you
says
cannot
that.
tell me. You
I
cannot
know
tell
where
me.
you crying babies are
And Miss Black,
going.
you
Stop.
cannot tell me that you cannot tell me what my stream is about. It is literally about men versus women,
We know
right?
what it's
And
about.
systemic
This
misogyny
all
that has been
boils down
upheld for
to
thousands of years through traditionalism, while men were suppressed and oppressed women,
all
right?
comes
Saying
from
that men are better at
Kamala
leading.
and Trump. We
Amara,
all
thank you for the
know
$5.
her
And Elizabeth,
agenda.
thank you so much for the
We know
$30. Thank
the
you so much. I
agenda.
really appreciate it. She is
Because
obnoxious.
you try to word it a different way. We all know what you guys are getting at.
I'm
She's
literally
better
telling
than
you what I'm
him.
getting at. Roke, thank you
Jeez,
for the
I'm
$5 on
telling
PayPal.
you.
How you can't tell me what I'm
I'm
getting at? How fucking rotted is your brain if you cannot hear me when I tell you what the function, purpose, and servitude of my stream is? My stream. Rachel, thank you for the galaxy. I appreciate you for the love. And Ava, thank you for the $2 on Venmo. Right? But once again, even if we want to compare only Trump and Kamala Harris, I'd say that Kamala Harris is a significantly better leader than Trump for a multitude of reasons. First, she's not a 34-count felon, proven rapist, like a adjudicated fraudster that wanted to ban all new Muslims from coming into her country, literal religious persecution. Second of all, she's not like Trump, who called for a termination of articles found in the Constitution. Trump that tried to rig, coup, and change the outcome of the 2020 election when he tried to install himself for a second term. And then third of all, our policy was significantly better. It would have served to the 60 rape victims per day that are denied access to abortion. It would have served to 1 out of every 3 women in our country that no longer have elective access to abortion. It would have served to give more purchasing power to the average American, reducing income inequities, making our economy as a whole better off. Okay, right? But all these reasons aside, we are here asking why some people typically associated with the Republican Party generally think that men are better at leading than women because of innate qualities, abilities, or skills of men that women don't have.
Abby, thank you for the $5. Dova, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you. Jennifer, thank you so much for the $10. Jacqueline, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you so much.
So do you understand the purpose of the stream now, Miss Black? Can you act like a rational human being, right? Stop drinking your wine at literally noon and just engage in a functional conversation with me and Parker?
Okay, so let me ask you something. Why do you think a woman is better?
I don't think that women are better at leading than men.
We think men and women are equal.
Better at leading. I just don't think that we could make such a Ray. Thank you for the galaxy. I don't think that we can make any claim to do with leadership qualities and abilities, right, on categories associated with gender identity or sex, because those do not portray or bear on leadership qualities. When I'm determining who's a good/bad leader, I'm looking at things such as ability to connect with others, right? Ability to grow in a positive direction, push a movement forward progressively and positively so, right? Ability to communicate, right? And being an intellectual, right? Being educated, right? And none of these qualities or skill are dependent on what's in between your legs or the order of your genome, right? Rather, or your gender identity. And I don't think that's not what you're understanding. I'm not up here saying that women are better at leading than men. I'm saying that these categories have no bearing on leadership abilities.
Okay, but
Abby, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love.
do you want me to talk now?
No, not really, but I guess that's why I went live. So I guess.
Jalen, thank you so much for the $3. Thank you so much. Amirs, thank you so much for the $2 in Rogue. Thank you so much. I appreciate the $5. Thank you.
So you're saying
Teddy, thank you the $1.
men and women could lead equally as good. But from what I saw from this election,
Ethereal, thank you for the
that
love
is
on air.
so not true.
What? Yeah, women.
That is
Yeah,
so
the
not
woman in this
true.
election was so much better than the man.
No.
Oh, I have a question from the
Okay,
outcome of the
then why
20.
did-
Wait.
why
So wait. If we're
Why?
using your logic here, from the outcome of the elections in 2008 and 2012, would you say that black people are better at leading than white people because Obama beat a white person in both elections?
Oh God.
Oh.
Now we're talking about black.
Maria, thank you for the $1.
Okay, so
my
you want to go
God.
there now?
Get
I
cooked.
don't
Get
understand.
cooked.
Oh.
Cooked beyond
You wanna
belief.
go
I've
there?
never seen someone so cooked.
Oh.
Do you want to
Glenn,
go
thank you for the
there now?
$5. Thank you, Glenn.
Do you?
Do I want a cookie? Is that what you said?
Clara, thank
Oh
you for
my
the $2
God.
on PayPal. I
Okay,
appreciate you for the love.
we all know where you guys are going. Dean, you look like you were gonna die on election night. Okay, Parker,
And thank you for the $1 and the 11 cents on Venmo. I appreciate you for the
We
love.
both know where this is going. Your butt hurt. Okay.
I just want to let you know, like, there are literally reasons for us to be negatively, like, to feel bad, right? To not feel positive after, like, literally Trump winning the election, when that restricts SA victims from getting access to abortion, women from getting access to abortion, right? When that undermines our fight against climate change, when that puts a civilly liable rapist, right, in the Oval Office. I think those things are actually things that we were fighting against, like legitimate, good reasons to fight against. And instead of actually being reasonable about it and realizing that, you're sitting there and not understanding that, right? What were you fighting for? Do you have a healthcare policy, a child care policy, a housing affordability policy?
Not to have their
Where's
body
the Galaxy
parts
Pristad mustache?
cut off.
Oh, really?
Oh, like, are you
not to
against
have
circumcision?
sex
Are you against circumcision?
Yes.
You think it should be? You think it should be illegal?
Yes.
Okay. You think it should be illegal? Okay. So, secondly, as it relates to this,
there's no
right?
reason for it.
There is not genital mutilation amongst children that's happening through quote unquote gender reassignment surgery. That's not happening, right? That's not happening amongst children. No one's doing that.
What we're talking about is children before they're even at the age of 18. Okay.
Yeah, give us an example of a minor.
With
getting
what?
sex
With what?
reassignment surgery.
You have an issue with them having puberty blockers? You don't assist
She's
children.
talking about sex reassignment surgery.
Yes,
Hey, Miss Black, could you
do.
please give me an instance of a minor getting sex reassignment surgery?
No, she was saying puberty blockers too as well, apparently.
Well, I'm talking about sex reassignment surgery because that's what you brought up.
Yeah,
first.
that's just not happening.
To say that
And
doesn't
Tracy, thank you
happen?
for the $10 on PayPal. I appreciate you with the love, Tracy. Everybody, please do show some love to Tracy down below in the chat. Thank you so much, Tracy. Miss Black, would you actually thank Tracy for her $10 donation to me on PayPal?
Hey,
Oh
thank
my
you for
God,
$5.
Tracy, thank you so much. You are the greatest. Can you give
Amanda,
him 20
thank you so much for the
next
$2.
time?
Joe, thank you so much for the $2. Thank you.
Yo,
Or
W Miss
50?
Black.
He
And
gets
W Miss
Tracy,
really
thank you
Black?
$10 for.
He gets really excited over 50. Can you do 50 or 100?
Oh, yo, W
I'm
Miss
going to
Black,
get you
W
guys
Miss Black.
so much money. How about 200 for Parker?
Oh, now you're crushing it.
Yes.
Now
You guys
you're
should
crushing
keep
it.
me on. Okay, now let's give Dean 200.
Now
For
you're crushing
Dean,
it.
200.
Now you're
Come
doing
on,
so
you
great.
can do it.
Can you engage? Can you engage?
I'm engaging and making a living for you guys.
Crystal!
I'm
Thank you for the
working it
meteor
over here.
shower. I appreciate you for the love, Crystal. Everybody show some love to Crystal in the
I'm
chat.
working it
And
over here.
Kenyon, thank you for the $10 on Venmo for proving a point. I appreciate you for the love, Kenyon.
Okay, so you guys know where I stand. You can either agree or disagree, but we really
can you
know
stand
what this. We
because
know
you don't
what
have a
this.
spine?
We know what this little group
Gang, thank you
is
for the
that
Galaxy.
you're doing.
And Nola, thank you for the $5
What-
on Venmo.
what's the
Miss
group?
Black XOXO. Thank you for the
Boo-hoo.
$5 on Venmo,
Kamala
Nola.
lost and Trump won. You guys are butthurt. We get it.
Yasar, thank you so much for the $50 on Venmo.
Guess
Thank you so
what?
much. I
That's
really
crazy.
appreciate that. Thank you
Kayla,
so
thank
much.
you for $1.
No,
Turn
what we're
the
doing.
page. Turn.
No, what we're doing is we're showing you that we believe in this, right? So, because we're still continuing to fight against these things because Trump was put in office, and that means we have a lot of fucking work to do.
And
I feel
Yasar,
such
thank
a-
you for the $50 on Venmo as well. Everybody show some massive W's and love to Yasar in the chat. Thank you so much, Yasar.
I feel such an inner push to talk about these things to continually after the election, after the results, because it means that this country has a lot more work to be done than I thought it did.
Right, then
That's
also,
what it
you
means.
you have no fucking moral high ground to be talking about liberal tears reacting to the 2024 election. At least we didn't try to like coup the country
Raid the Capitol.
and raid the Capitol and cause an insurrection. Yeah, let's talk about what Republicans did in 2020. Honestly, Ms. Black, I just have one last question for you. Go ahead and unmute that mic for me. Let me know when you're ready. Yo! Oh my God, Megan with a $150 on Venmo saying Miss Black's wish is my command. Thank you so much for the $150, Megan. Holy shit, that is outrageous. Everybody, please show some love to Megan in the chat. I want to see at least 1,000 W Megans down below, and Kendall with a $5 on Venmo. Everybody,
Megan,
show some love to Megan down below.
Good job, Megan.
Ms. Black, I have one last question for you. Are you ready?
Sure.
Thank
What
you,
is
Lily,
4
for the
plus 4?
$2. Thank you so much. I really
Wait.
appreciate that.
Dean.
Thank you.
Dean,
asked
can
you my
I
last
first
question.
can I respond to what you said before you muted me
About
about
January
rating the Capitol?
6th? Okay. Yeah, Claire, I think
Can
we're
I?
going deep out.
What about what happened?
Tasneem, thank you for the $10.
What
And
about
Heidi, thank you so much for the
what happened in
$20. Thank you so much.
Seattle? Do you want to talk about that?
Okay, I actually just want you to answer my question.
That
What's 4 plus
was
4?
10 times worse, but
And
nobody
which one was
wants to
ordained?
bring it up.
Which one was
Nobody
ordained by
wants
the
to bring
president?
it up.
We dispute
No one
any.
wants to talk
Hey,
about
listen,
it.
I will talk about it. We dispute any political violence. We do not agree with any political violence. Now, if you want to talk about specifically what happened, that specific situation did not have the backing of the president calling the people who did it patriots, right, and
Who
saying
did
that they
it
would
have
pardon
the
people that
backing
violently
of?
assaulted police officers. That just didn't happen. So that's
Okay,
what
then
Trump
also-
did.
God.
And also, Miss Black, I'm trying to ask you my last question here.
That's
What is
your
4 plus 4?
interpretation, Parker. Not everyone
No.
feels that way.
Dude,
Okay,
Donald Trump certainly
obviously.
feels that
Look
way.
who
Well, I
our new
explained why, and I'm
president is.
reasonable. You're
Patriots
not.
in jail
Look
singing the
who our
national
new
anthem and played it at his
president is.
rallies.
Not everyone feels that way. The people have spoken.
The
Sorry.
wait, if all people in America said that the Earth was flat, that wouldn't change it. The Earth is round. So if 74 million people in America say that Trump is a patriot, that doesn't change that he did have the January
That's
6th
your opinion.
rioters.
That's your opinion.
It's not an opinion. It's something
Yeah,
that
it
actually
is.
happened. You
No.
intellectual
No.
freak. At one of his rallies, he genuinely did have the January 6th rioters in jail sing the American anthem. And at the National Convention of Black Journalists, as well as rallies following after that, he did call them patriots and say that they deserve to be pardoned. Right? Nothing that you
Drain
could
the
say could change
swamp.
that fact. And just because you call it
Drain the swamp.
an opinion doesn't change that it happened. But I did want to ask you my last question here. What is 4
Okay.
plus 4?
Okay, seriously?
Seriously,
Are we
what is
going
4
there?
plus 4? Yes,
You
we
know
are.
what it is.
Crystalline, thank you for the $6.66.
And what is it?
Thank you. Tell me.
Obviously, 4 plus 4 is 8.
You the fuck up, Miss
Hey,
Black. Craziness. We're gonna move on to our next guest.
That's crazy.
If you guys are
She
on the
just
queue,
gave you
make
an
sure that you do
alley-oop.
think that men are better at leading than women. Of course she did. Of course she did. All right. Wow, this topic's going all right. What's up?
How are you guys
Yo,
doing?
man, Preet, thank you for the $50 on Venmo, saying
Hell
paid
yeah,
for by Miss Black's tears. Man, Preet,
right.
everybody show some love to Man Preet in the chat for the $50.
Man
That is
Preet,
insane.
50
And then Nessa, thank you for the
fucking
$5 on Venmo,
Hey,
saying
give
swag
some
as
love
well.
to Parker too. Give some money to Parker. Let's get
Okay.
you both paid.
Hidden. What do you think that women are worse at leading than men?
It depends on the context. I think
Just like overall.
we have overall individually no, but we live in like generally a patriarchy, so it's a cultural thing. So especially in the rest of the world, like I don't think it's
Okay.
an extremely prevalent problem in America compared to the rest of the world.
Wait. So you just think that like we live in a patriarchy? People may have more respect for a male leader because of the patriarchy?
Yes, generally.
Okay. Do you think that white people are better at leading than black people because we also live in a country of systemic racism?
No, not necessarily, and I don't think America is the same America from the 1960s. Like,
It doesn't change the fact that like there's still systemic racism that'll make American citizens respect white leaders more than black leaders. So if you wouldn't say that white people are better at leading because of that, why would you say men are better at leading than women because of that?
I think the system is just designed generally for
Just
men.
think of the
who-
$5.
The same way it's generally designed for white people, but you don't yield the conclusion that white people are better at leading, so you shouldn't yield the conclusion that men are better at leading.
But I guess like what I'm saying is that I'm talking in generalities, like my own personal feelings aside, like me personally on an
So
individual
in
level,
generalities, would you say that white people are better at leading?
they're more set up to be. They have advantages.
They do, but are white people better at leading?
No, not necessarily. That's not what I'm
So then
saying.
men aren't better at leading either, then, right?
I'm not saying that men are better. They just have.
Okay,
they have
so then you don't think
greater
that men are better at
advantages.
leading. They do
No.
because of the patriarchy, but does it mean that men are better at leading than women?
No, not necessarily.
Awesome. Well, I
Like,
appreciate you for coming up. We were just looking to talk to people that think that men are better at leading than women. Tessa, thank you so much for the $20 donation on Venmo. Everybody show some love to Tessa down below in the chat. Thank you for the $20. That is so incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much, Tessa. What's up, Lil Miss? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Hey, I think that men think that they are better than leading than women.
I'm asking you what you think.
I would just like to raise a point quickly, because I feel like men are raised in a way that they are never able to admit that they are wrong. So I feel like they.
So you agree
have
with
this-
us, right? You agree with us, and you don't think that men are better at leading than women, right?
Yes, but I think that what
Awesome.
we
Well, I
need to.
appreciate you for. We're just looking to debate people that think men are better at leading than women. Lomas, I appreciate you for coming up. I would love for you to join my Discord so we could talk more about this, and I do really appreciate.
No,
you for
you're
your
good.
time.
Hang up. Appreciate you.
Have a good one, Lomas. We appreciate you for coming up. We're gonna move on to our next guest. I really hate doing that, you guys. I would love for you, the friendlies, the allies, to please join the Discord so we could have a place to talk. And you guys are absolutely great. But we are just looking for debates here today, y'all. So make sure if you are in the queue that you do think that men are better at leading than women. But of course, Little Miss, we all appreciate you here. So make sure to show some love to Little Miss in the comment section. I don't want to make you feel like excluded or anything. What's the Discord? It's in the link tree in my bio. Abigail, thank you for the $75 on Venmo. Abigail says, Dean and Parker are cooking once again. I want to see at least 1,000 W. Abigail's down below. Thank you so much for the love, Abigail. What's up, Bridgeport? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Yeah, they make more money.
Okay, white people make more money than black people. Does that mean that white people are better at leading than black people?
Some of them depends on occupation, but if you go by occupation average, men make way more money than women, so they're way better. It's not even close, man.
We're comparing your argument and contrasting it in the dynamic of race the way that you're making it in the dynamic of gender. So once again, if you're saying that because of the socioeconomic discrepancies that exist between men and women, men are better at leading than women, would you say because of the socioeconomic discrepancies that exist between white people and black people, that white people are better at leading than black people?
Oh man, you got my back against the wall with that one. What do you mean by that?
Well, whatever you mean when you say men are better at leading than women.
Yeah, I mean, because they make way more money, they're more useful to society. Women are good at some things, but leading, you got to give that to the men. Be honest, man. Be honest.
Okay. So Asian people in this country, right, make more money, right, in terms of GDP per capita than white people in this country. Does that mean that Asian people are better leaders?
Sometimes it does, actually. Matter of fact, sometimes it does.
Alexa, thank you for the $15 on Venmo, saying thank you for everything that you do fighting the good fight. I appreciate you, Alexia.
Rich, I'm just saying on average. Do you think
On
people who are
average,
Asian...
I got to check the statistics, but men make way more money. Come on, just admit
Okay,
it.
bro, please stop running away from my point. Do you think that white people are better at leading than black people? Yes or no?
I will address your point directly.
Okay, do it.
I will do it.
So I don't want to come off as insensitive or racist. I'm not racist or insensitive.
So then answer the question.
Sorry, I'm sweating right now because I'm not racist, but I mean, you know.
The way that you're framing your answer makes me think that you might be racist.
No, not even. I got plenty of
why are you sweating?
Women friends.
Dude, just say that white people aren't better at leading than black people. Is that a fair answer?
No, they're not.
Great. So like wealth disparities. Oh, ineligible for FYP push because of you. I got to kick you. Oh, accidentally kicked Parker and said, Parker, hop back in the queue. I'm sorry, Parker. It did the thing where it accidentally kicked the guest, but not you. So we're going to move on to our next guest. Everybody just give us a minute. Parker, hop back in that queue. What's going on? Do you think that men are better at leading than women? All right, they're not here. We're going to move on to our next guest, guys. And We accidentally booted Parker. Everybody just do give us a minute. We're going to go to get Parker back up in here. Hello, Sandra. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
No.
Hey, W Sandra! W Sandra! Everybody spam W Sandra down below the chat. Let's get some massive W's for Sandra right now for the quick, short, concise, and based answer. Everybody show some love to Sandra. That's fucking right. We fuck with
Oh my
you,
gosh.
Sandra.
Minpreet, thank you so much for the $50 for Go Parker on Venmo. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Tessa with the $20 on Cash App. Thank you so much. And London, thank you so much for the $75 on PayPal. Thank you so much. Can we some W's for London in the comment section? W's for Minpreet and W's for Tessa. Let's see some W's at least for like the next few minutes, everyone. Thank you so much, y'all.
What's up, Cody Zach Harper? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
In what?
Just generally.
Generally. So, generally speaking, men have been dominant more than women have been in leading over the years. But if you look
No,
at
but do you think that they're better?
a ton of statistics obviously point towards women nowadays moving towards being better leaders. Unfortunately, it hasn't came to that fruition.
Wait, so do you think because there's been a disproportionate amount of men in leaderships in leadership roles that means men are better at leading?
Sorry, say that one more time. I heard Parker, not
you. Do you think there's been a lot of men leaders that means men are better at leading?
I mean, for the years, yeah, obviously. I mean, there's a reason why
there's
they
an issue
were.
with that logic. There's an issue with that logic. That reason is generally misogyny and systemic limits of opportunity, not because they're literally better. I'll give you an example of this. 85% of surgeons are male. 15% of surgeons are female. Would you agree that your logic would entail that men are better at being surgeons than women?
I mean, yeah, there's 85% more, right? So they're probably better.
Right, but we know that's wrong. So the AMA and the JMA conducted a study over 14 years, 6 continents, and 1.3 million patients. If you're operated on by a female compared to a male, you're less likely to die as an outcome of your surgery, and you're less likely to experience post-negative outcomes. So what that tells us is just because men may dominate a space doesn't mean that men are better at performing in that space.
My only issue that I want to rebuttal back with what you just said there, you said 85% are men surgeons and 15% are women surgeons. So would you agree that 85% of the surgeries that are happening are done by men versus 15% of the surgeries that have been done by women? So
yes, you know where you're going with this. The study would be proportionally.
I'm not done. Let me speak. Let me finish. If 15% of women did all their surgeries, let's say they did out of 1,000, right? 850 were done by men, 150 were done by women. Don't you think statistically there's probably going to be a little bit difference in the 850 count versus the 150? The chances.
Yeah, that's why we account for proportionality.
Yeah.
So like in the study conducted by the AMA and the JMA, it accounts for proportionality. It's like just a base assumption for such a large study conducted by such a reputable institution of medicine. But I mean, you could read this study and see their methodology and read it for yourself, right? Proportionality is accounted for.
I'd have to read the study. I mean, it's just one of those things. You never know until.
Well, I think for the $1.22.
You read it.
I promise you that it accounts for proportionality, right? Any study done by a statistician would.
So my question, I guess, why do you think a woman hasn't led our country?
Because of misogyny. The same way a black person didn't lead our country prior to Obama.
So do you think? Where am I trying to go with that? Hold on.
Which was
You're interested. There are many communities in the United States that have not been represented, and it's been overrepresentation of white men in America. That's exactly what we're saying. That's exactly the issue we were bringing up as well.
Yeah, we've never had an Asian president. We've never had a South Asian president. We've never had a Jamaican president. Right? There's plenty of demographics that exist in America that have never been represented in the Oval Office. Right.
Okay, so question back for you. Do you think that it's relevant to have Parker, I'm assuming you're a male, tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming that you're a male. So you have Parker in on your conversation and you're wanting to prove that women and men are equal. Why do you have 2 men to debate anybody who comes on your thing instead of a man and a woman?
Wait, are you saying men shouldn't have opinions on abortion?
No, you can. You can have your opinions all you want. Opinions are for everybody.
If you're just asking for more representation on the live, I'd happily have a woman up here. It just so happens that Parker's my best friend and I like to debate with him.
Yeah, I'm just curious of why you didn't. Just because he's your friend, that's why?
Yeah, we're friends.
Yeah, it just like so happens that my best friend that I debate with often is a man. But if Parker was a woman, we'd have a woman on the live right now.
I got you. I just wanted to throw it out there. It's definitely a thing. But no, like I said, I don't think in the years coming forward, right? Do I think
Wait, is that seriously coming from? Wait, did you vote Trump?
I did not vote in general. I live in a state that my vote would never have changed anything. You can guess what state
It
it
still
is.
matters though, right? You still should vote, right?
I mean, yeah, but it doesn't. Like it doesn't where.
Okay, if women's rights were on the ballot, would you vote?
Ivan, thank you for the $4 on Venmo, and shout out to your wife, Kelly. We love you, Ivan and Kelly.
Cody, if women's rights were on the ballot, would you vote?
In which way?
Crystal, thank you for the manifest.
Like, what do you mean women's rights? All of it, or what? Or just because of the Roe v. Wade being turned over?
Yeah,
Like,
Roe versus Wade. We can
vote,
reference
yeah,
that.
everybody can vote in that scenario where they vote for their governors of the state and all that kind of stuff, because all that's moved back. So to say that a president's going to change it, I mean, right? It changed in 2022 during a different presidency. Sure, obviously Trump elected or hired the Supreme Court people to get it done. He said that he wanted it done. Totally agree with where you're trying to go with that.
So
But
why didn't you vote against that?
vote against what?
Why didn't you vote against the person that perpetuated women's rights to be reduced in this country?
He didn't really vote against it, right? I mean, he just hired somebody. They went and did the poll.
I have a
What?
question.
And why didn't you vote for more women representation within the presidency?
I have a question. Do you think that circumcision's okay?
I don't know where you're going with that. I prefer not to answer if I can. I don't know what that means. Can you give me a better of why you're asking me that question?
It's fine.
Well, I mean, like, generally what I'm asking is if Donald Trump rescinded some right of a man back to the state, maybe a man's right to vote, or a man's right to, like, provide to his family, maybe forcing men to go out and work if they have a kid with a woman to provide for the woman and the kid, would you vote against that?
Would I vote against if I was forced to go to work?
Just like anything. You could replace that with any right of a man where you are rescinding something back to the state level that would infringe or impede upon a man's livelihood. Would you vote against it? Maybe a man's right to bear an arm. That's a good one.
Okay.
So if 2A was rescinded back to the state only for men, and that was something that Trump had done, and Kamala was standing heavily against it, would you have voted for Kamala?
No, I'm not going to vote on one person just because of one policy. So, unfortunately, I would not.
On any policy, what if someone literally thought slavery was okay? Would you vote against that?
I think that's a reason why racism still exists in this country is because we continue to talk about slavery when none of us, neither my
whoa,
none of us had it.
Whoa,
Yeah.
you're saying racism exists in this country because we acknowledge that slavery negatively impacts people? We're acknowledging history? How is us
No, I think
acknowledging
it's-
history causing racism?
Racism
What
would
causes
exist to a
racism
higher
is you
degree if
not
we
calling
didn't
out their
acknowledge
behavior, is you not calling out candidates that perpetuate racism and voting in candidates that would make the situations better.
Well, like I said, once again, I didn't vote, so you can't pin anything. on
Exactly. That's the issue. You're part when you didn't vote, when you didn't go out and vote, you're a part of the exact issue that got Donald Trump elected.
Or on the
It's
part
not
of
just the
same-
people that
or-
voted for Donald Trump. It's also the people that did not vote for the other side, did not vote for women's rights, did not vote for us fighting against, right, the people who literally think that climate change is a hoax, fighting against people who are held civilly liable of sexual abuse. Women tried to coup the country, right? Is that not like an American patriotic duty to fight against people that are going against the freedoms and rights of people in this country and undermining our democracy?
I mean, like, hey, you guys did what you wanted to do. I'm happy for you, whatever way you voted.
I feel like if white people were enslaved instead of black people, there'd be monuments reflecting on slavery and how big of an atrocity it was on like every street corner.
I don't know if that's true. I mean, there was tons of different statues built for over the years, and how many of them got removed, because of some kind of history behind them, right? And then the same thing you still have in Georgia. I'm pretty sure it's still in Georgia. Don't quote me 100%, but I'm pretty sure there's still a all-black college in Georgia.
The only monuments we see were of slave owners like Robert E. Lee, man.
Do what? I'm sorry.
The only monuments we see are of like slave owners like Robert E. Lee.
I mean, there's so many, dude. Every monument out there was built back in the time where that was a day-to-day thing, right? So those guys did whatever they did back then. They got a monument built on them, right? Shit changed later on in life, and now.
Cody, I have a question. Do you think we should take down statues of Confederate leaders?
I could care less either way.
Isn't that bringing up racism? Right? You said that the issue was
if
bringing up that
somebody
slavery
goes to
existed,
it-
but how could that not be an issue if it's bringing up someone who fought for slavery?
Yeah, how come you only care in one circumstance but not the other?
I
You're
really
just
don't.
telling us-
I mean, I haven't really cared about much of the different things. Like I said, I just think that in general, really the big
You're
question that-
only okay with viewing history from the side of the oppressor?
That's too big of a word for me, so I couldn't tell you. But no, dude, I just think like people who did whatever they did back in the day, that's history, right? And it's our job to change the future of things, and we have so far, right? We've moved forward with a lot of things, and kind of where I was going with this whole beginning of it, where I said, I think men are generally a better leader over the years, right? But that doesn't seem like it's going to be that path anymore. I'm agreeing in a sense where
I'm sorry. Do you know what oppression is?
Yeah.
So then, how is oppressor too big of a word? It's
just the whole context.
It's referencing who's committing that oppression.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have enough history lessons to tell you who oppressed who at what point of their life, right? Like
you don't know that Confederates wanted slavery, which oppresses people.
I mean, at one point, let's be honest, the whole country wanted it. So, and
that's bad, right? That's bad.
100%. Yeah, no. Looking back at it, obviously today, right? It's bad.
So would you want statues commemorate? Would you want statues commemorating the people that like believed it was okay to own people as slaves?
Rachel, thank you for the $50 on Venmo. Oh my God, Rachel, can we see at least 500 W Rachels in the chat?
I need to get Rachel my Venmo, bro.
No, you don't. Rachel, thank you for the $50. I do really appreciate that. Everybody do show some love to Rachel. Thank you so much,
I'm not trying
Rachel.
to bore you or
that is
or
so
make
incredibly
you
kind of you.
feel any sort of way, but I do think like in the future,
Alexa,
right?
thank you so much for the $15, and Janie, thank you so much for the $20. Thank you, Janie.
Unfortunately.
Okay, I want to get back to the meat. I want to get back to the meat on the bone here. So you said that you think men are better leaders because they've dominated those spaces. I'll give you an example insofar as just because a demographic may dominate a space doesn't mean that they're better at it. And I mean, we could just use a more intuitive example. Do you think white people are better at leading than black people?
Yeah, I'm not going to go from gender to race, so.
And we are. It's a perfect correlation because we see a domination of white people in leadership positions. All right, every president but one that we've had has been white. Like what is it? Like 95% of Fortune 500 CEOs are white. Same thing would like align with like leadership in positions of institutions, right? Obviously, we don't think that white people are better at leading than black people, even though positions of leadership have always been predominantly white dominated, beyond what we'd expect with black people existing as a minority in our country, right? So if we wouldn't say because leadership positions have been disproportionately white dominated, white people are better at leading, we also wouldn't say because positions of leadership have been predominantly male dominated doesn't mean that males are better at leading.
So should we go and close down all those Fortune 500 companies that don't promote a certain person into the space just because they're not the right person for that job?
No, I'm literally just arguing that your logic that entailed the conclusion that men are better at leading is faulty and false, and you don't uphold it in similar constructions, such as a dynamic of race. That's what I'm arguing. Stop the red herrings.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm not going to go back and forth between the race and that side, so...
Well, then just explain to me why your logic. Okay, so we have like 200 years of leadership. You're saying it's mostly been men. That means men are better at leading, right?
Sure. Yep.
So if a white supremacist walked up to you and said, "We have 200 years of leadership. It's mostly been white people. That means that white people are better at leading." How would you respond to that?
Well, it'd be a little bit different today because obviously a lot of things have changed over the past 200 years.
So why can't we just use whatever word garbage just came out of your mouth to respond to your point that even though positions of leadership have been a little bit wait, what do you mean a little bit different today? Are you making the implication that white people were better at leading than black people at one point in history?
I think that they didn't have a chance to ever prove that they could or couldn't.
That doesn't respond to my question.
You asked me what I think about from back then to today, so that was my answer. What changed is that they didn't
Are
have.
white people better at leading than black people?
Like I said, I'm not going to answer that blunt question.
No, answer it.
I'm just not going to. I mean, I'm
Wait,
not.
Parker, will you answer it?
No.
Wait,
No,
yeah,
they're not
Parker, you
better.
answer it. Well, you're chat. Everybody in my
No,
chat, can you
they're
guys answer
equal.
it? Are white people better at leading than black people? Chat. 1 second. Just let everyone answer it, but you.
Okay.
I'll answer too. No. Okay. Everyone. No. Michael says no. Angie says no. Tommy says yes. What a fucking freak. Period says no. Jackie says no. Karino says no. Toby says no. Astrogirl says no. Everyone says no apart from like some like 13-year-old edgelords. So now it's your turn to answer the question. Do you think that white people are better at leading than black people?
Listen, I'm glad they answered your question. I stand on the freedom of speech where I told you I'm not going to answer the question. Appreciate
That's so weird. That
So
is
why would
so
you-
weird that you cannot answer that question.
I just want to press on this a little bit
That
harder.
is disgusting, actually, that you can't answer that question. You know that you have a weird fucking view on that.
Why
No, I
would you
really
wanna-
don't,
why
honestly.
would you request up into this space and want to come on a debate live in front of 11,000 people if you can't answer simple questions?
Well, because
That's
I
like
came on-
that's an expectation in spaces like this.
For sure. No, I totally understand. And that came on to talk about the men versus the women side of things.
Yeah, but we could have conversations that are conceptually relevant. Like when you say that you're not going to answer questions in related circumstances that could prove your logic to be insufficient, thereby justifying that your point in the context of men and women is insufficient.
Janie,
as
thank
well.
you so much for the $44 for thank you for your work. Good boy. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think they're
I mean, you're just
referencing
gonna-
the video. Remember the video that just
Yeah.
kind of went viral?
But what you're doing is you're kind of just excluding other like pieces on the chessboard. It's incredibly relevant, right? Like answer me this: why would your logic yield the conclusion that men are better at leading than women, but not that white people are better at leading than black people? Because there's an overrepresentation of men and white people.
I just think that two things are totally different, right? I mean,
So
I
tell
think
me the
for-
relevant
For
distinction.
years that in this country, for years, I don't know the math, but I'm assuming there's a massive difference of years versus where men oppress, or not just men. Well, so men probably oppress women for less of a time versus where white have oppressed black for more time, right?
Okay, so
Would
you're
you-
just
would
saying
you
that there's
agree
like
with
more
that?
firm. So you're saying that a tool of oppression has lent into why there's been more white leaders than black leaders. Well, I mean, we just argue the same thing in the context of men and women. But I mean, if you'd say that it's not the case that it was caused by oppression and systemic limiting of opportunity, answer me this: what are the distinctions? What are the differences between men and women that make men better at leading? Obviously, if you think men are better at leading than women, there has to be like some relation to behaviors, traits, or attitudes that men have that women don't that make them better at leading. So what would those traits be? And Brianna, thank you for the $3 on Venmo saying thanks for your work. I appreciate you for the $3 donation, Brianna.
Like I said, for years, right? Obviously, men had an easier role to get to those paths, to where they were able to put themselves into the right position to be the leader. It doesn't make it right. I'm not saying it's right by any chance. I've literally said at the very beginning that I do
So I
think
just want to
that we're
clarify
moving
this.
towards-
There's no innate differences in the abilities of men and women in the context of leadership. You just think that men are better at leading because they've had an easier time getting into those positions, right?
over the past. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at history, yes, right. Obviously.
Okay, so if just having an easier time to get into a position of leadership means that you're a better leader, you'd say that white people are better at leading than black people because they have an easier time to get into those positions of leadership?
I mean, you keep trying to go there. I do appreciate your gung ho and stuff. I'm not gonna make a
Okay,
decision.
you could leave
on
then.
that.
Yeah, no, you could leave then. Like, I mean, if you're not here to actually like challenge your perspective,
I am.
and when
I'm
you're
talking about-
presented with no, well, listen to me. If you're not here to challenge your perspective, and you literally shut down and refuse to engage when you're given a point that destroys your perspective, you could leave. Right? We're here to talk to intellectually honest
Jillian,
people.
think of the $1.69.
Right? We're not here to talk to people that literally shut down in 4K and will refuse to engage with the point that they know will make them lose the debate. You could leave, man.
Hey, have a good day.
You as well, bro. Have a good one. Peace out.
Cooked.
We're going to move on to our next guest. Everybody just do give us a second to get our next guest up. I would just like to rephrase for all the 100 people in the queue, right? If you are in the queue, please make sure that you do think that men are better at leading than women. We are just looking for some debates here tonight. So everybody just do give us a minute here, y'all. Everybody just do give us a minute here, y'all. Also, if you do want to support either myself or Parker, our Venmos, our Cash Apps, our PayPals are in the bio. I do appreciate everyone that has showed so much love today.
Thank you, everyone.
I accidentally just swiped out of the app. It may start lag. I really hope it doesn't.
Yeah, that would be rough.
What's up, Jaden? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
How's it going, guys? I would say that, so I do, in a like very big picture sense, I do. But I would like to get specific with it because I don't think that every single man is a better leader than every single woman, right?
You just generally think that they are, and why is that?
So I generally think that they do because when we look at the prominent women leaders in history, they are typically really high-level civic leaders. Like they do well focusing on their own nation, and they're typically like when we look at Queen Victoria or Queen Elizabeth or Catherine the Great, they have very large empires, and they are presiding over a not necessarily a golden age, like in quotes, obviously, because not, but they are able to do things really well culturally. They excel, like obviously with Victoria, she abolished slavery in the British Empire. That's huge. But I would say that in most cases, in most countries, you do not have a situation where you have this, like, you have an abundance of resources, you have all these great things. So I think that when you are not, when you're not in sort of like either a great peace or a predominant world power, you do want somebody who is like, when we look at why like men are, because one of the things that you guys have been bringing up is that men are like violent and they have these negative characteristics. I think that when you are representing like a smaller nation, like in early history or really whenever outside of like what we would consider.
Ella, thank you for the $6.
Yes,
I appreciate you, Ella.
You don't necessarily want somebody who is like this incredibly like moral person. You want somebody who is going to like fight and engage with the people that you are competing.
You don't want a moral leader? That's incoherent as fuck, dude. What are you talking about? You don't want a leader that knows what you should do?
Okay, so from a historical perspective, right, we can criticize the moral character of a ton of world leaders, right?
Okay.
Like a majority.
Would you be down to hang up here for at least like another 10 minutes so I could go heat up some pasta?
Yeah. I don't think that in order to be a good leader, right, you need specifically to be able to actually I do think in order to be a good leader, you need to have good moral character.
Okay, and I would agree with you on like as a big picture, but we can look at a lot of people who like in terms of what you accomplish. So the Roman Empire obviously did a lot of bad things, right? They invaded people, but it increased the quality of life for Roman citizens, right?
Okay, yeah. So you could say that it increased quality of life for Roman citizens. That does not make them a good leader because it is the case that, again, they don't have good moral character. So when I'm talking about good leader, I'm referencing an index to my own desires, right? What are you referencing when you say good leader? When you say better leader, what are you saying? Is it not in accordance with your desires more? Or are you just saying that they got effective change done? Because getting effective change done does not necessarily make them a good leader if they do not have good moral character.
I would say that effective change, if it benefits a majority of citizens living within the nation that they represent, then I would say that that is positive to a certain extent. Because obviously, like, you can look at a significant number, not a significant number, but a lot of world leaders in the 1940s, and we would say that they got effective change, but it was not beneficial to a lot of people. They did horrible things. So it's not, so I do think that in certain contexts.
No, so I'm not saying that it's sufficient in order to be a good leader. What I'm saying is it's necessary.
It is, okay, but there are a lot of, okay. So when we say good.
Do you think that Hitler was a good leader?
No, I do not.
Okay. Is that related to his moral character at all?
I would say yes, it is.
Okay. So obviously you evaluate whether or not someone's a good leader based upon moral character. So then why are you making this argument?
Well, I would say Hitler is probably the most extreme. One of the most.
Think of it $2
of somebody who is like a horrible.
Tina, thank you for the 5. Deidre, thank you so much. I appreciate the $5 as well. And Janaya, thank you so much. I appreciate the $15. Thank you so much. You're not really like responding to my point. So my question is that then can you answer the question? What is the reason that makes women better at leading than men?
I think that generally women do have higher empathy. I think women are more empathetic than men. I think that when you are like, if you are presiding over a time of peace or an era of peace in the world, and there is not like, I think that the perfect time to have a female president would have been like immediately post World War II, when we were like a dominant global power. We could have gotten a ton of social reform done. And I think that it is regrettable that we didn't, because I think that would have been the time where a woman leader could have done.
Why not now?
Why not?
I said, why not now?
Why not now? So I think my personal belief is that we are kind of in a transitionary phase in terms of world powers, right? So China is obviously, we have China and Russia and then various other countries that are expanding their power, expanding their sphere of influence, and all of these things, which I would say goes back to an environment where you would want a male representative as opposed to a female representative. Because when we
just
look
like
at,
stating that because you think that bad things are happening.
I don't think that bad things are happening. I think that we have more competition now than we have in the last 50
Why do we need a man in order to deal with the more competition?
I don't think that we necessarily need a man. I think that historically men have proven that they deal with those situations better. If we look at
Wait, why? Isn't there always a man that's losing in those situations? Like what if like diplomatic abilities, behaviors, and attitudes that be more conveyant of less aggressiveness, right, during wartime were actually more conducive to better long-term outcomes? Because in all of these situations where there's been two countries fighting with one another, wartime's at a peak, what ends up happening is civilizations are destroyed, and innocent civilians die, people are forced and shipped off to go to war, and countries crumble, right? Empires are terminated. There's always a man that is lost in all of these historical situations where two or more countries with male leaders have fought. So what if, right, genuinely speaking, less aggressive, right, less confrontational, right, less in the muck of it approach to these things with long-term cooperative peace agreements are the better solution? Right? Imagine how many wars we've avoided with long-term cooperative agreements through peaceful relations we've achieved.
I think that is a very valid point. But I think we are right now, like when you bring that up, I'm not saying that that can't happen. I'm not saying that that like is not a potential outcome. But when you look at incredibly, and obviously we have a small sample size for predominant female leaders. Would you agree? Like there's not a ton.
Well, I actually don't think that we need to be looking at women that have served in positions of leadership to determine how good women are at leading. I just think we need to make the recognition that there is no biological disadvantages that women possess that would make them worse at leading, right? There's no way that you could quantify, right, the abilities and attitudes and skills that men possess that women don't that make men better at leading, right? So that's why I'd say that the claim as a whole is absolute and total bullshit. Like, can you give me the differences between men and women that make men better at leading?
I mean, I can try. I think we're going to disagree on it, but I do believe that typically women are more empathetic. And I think
empathy is a bad quality of leadership?
No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that it is a different quality of leadership, right? It's like
but I'm going to need you to does empathy make women worse at leading?
Sometimes in terms of foreign policy, yes. I would say that could.
Okay, so less empathy is better to have in a leader. So Hitler's a good leader because he had zero empathy?
No, I'm not saying that zero empathy is a good thing. I'm saying that if you are, we can't.
Anna, thank you for the $5 on Venmo.
Yeah. All right, you got me.
All right, Jaden. Well, is there anything else that you want to go over, man? Oh, shit, he just left.
Interesting.
Okay.
Everyone keep tapping that screen. Let's get to 2 million likes. Share the live as well, everyone.
And if you do want to support me or Parker, Venmo's, Cash Apps, PayPal's are in the bio. I just heard the microwave go off for my pasta, so I'm going to go grab that, but I'm going to get someone else up here and have a conversation, get going here first. I appreciate you for helping me kind of cover.
Of course.
I really like the idea of me like eating and drinking water and whatnot during the stream, so that I don't leave like so airheaded and like feeling like shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
Yo, what's up, Rizzo? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Yes.
Okay, how old are you?
15.
Okay, well, I mean, you should probably go apologize to your mom so she can make you dinner tonight. Don't say that misogynistic shit. We're going to move on to our next guest here, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, do just give us a minute. We got Mercedes loading up into the box here, guys.
All right, everyone, keep tapping that screen, keep sharing the live. I'll probably be on my own live here within like 15, 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, I just got to go grab my pasta. Oh, what are you running today?
I don't know.
I don't know. I may join you. Who knows? Been on for 2 hours. I'll probably get to 3 or 4. But I was kind of hoping to get off a little bit earlier today.
Oh my god,
What's
this
up?
person edited like bondage onto us on Twitter, and it
I
has
saw
like 2
that.
million or 2 million views.
That's 2 million views because Bryce Hall requoted and tweeted it.
Of course he did. Fucking weirdo.
I know. Moving on to our next guest. Yeah, the crazy thought is that a picture of you, me, Harry, and Chris in AI bondage is in all of these conservative men's camera rolls. So, Karina, thank you for the galaxy. I appreciate you for that. What's up, Davina? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Absolutely not. And I respect you guys so much. So thank you guys for your service.
You're awesome, bro. I appreciate you for popping up. Right, that's a real man right there. Moving on to Blaine, ladies and gentlemen. Do give us a minute. Yo, Rachel! Thank you for the $15 on Venmo. We
Appreciate
love
the
to hear
galaxy.
it.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that, Tina.
W's in the chat for Rachel. While I'm gone, I'm also going to make myself a caramel macchiato. I got the espresso machine, folks. It was the best purchase I've ever made in my life.
Wait, say that again?
I got an espresso machine.
No, before that.
Caramel macchiato? What are you reacting to?
Where did the A go?
Macchiato? It's like a silent. It's ma.
No.
Macchiato? That's how you pronounce it.
No.
No way you're going to die on this hill.
Right before.
Caramel?
Caramel?
No, don't say it like that. That's so annoying.
Oh, come on. What are you talking about, bro?
Don't say it like
Where'd
that.
the A
Don't say it
go?
like that.
Where'd the A go?
Don't caramel. It's giving like 54-year-old white soccer mom with 3 kids that she
But that's
pushes
just how
to
you
excel in
say it.
school that end up being addicted
That's how
to
you
drugs
say it. That's
because
how
of bad parenting.
That is literally how you say it.
Caramel.
Seriously, do you want me to have Siri say it?
Oh,
Casey, I appreciate the $5. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure.
I got it.
Caramel. Caramel. Caramel.
Listen. Hold on. It's gonna go up.
Caramel.
Get clowned. Oh, this is such a beautiful day for Dean. This is such a beautiful day for Dean. How does it feel to take an L? Oh my God. Oh, I muted your mic, by the way, Parker, so you can play your AI generated propaganda.
No, seriously, look at this.
Caramel.
Okay, so
Do you
you
see?
changed the accent. You changed the accent.
Caramel.
I
Even that.
appreciate the galaxy. Thank you so much. No, I just
Even-
clicked.
even
I
that's not
clicked, I
pronunciating
clicked the
the second
American
A.
pronunciation.
Even
See,
that isn't
I
pronunciating
wasn't
the second A.
So here's the issue. I clicked this one instead of clicking the American pronunciation.
What's the first pronunciation?
It's just literally the one that's right next to the name.
Caramel.
Like that's kind of
Wait.
funny that happened. That is really funny because it's the actual real pronunciation is that.
Caramel?
Yeah,
Still not-
Karen.
still not- Oh, Piker, do you think that men are better at leading than women? Biker? You could use your voice. Speak. I compel you. You called me a dickhead, so you could tell me why men are better at leading than women. Oh, Jesus Christ. What the fuck is going on? We're going to move on to our next guest, everybody. But yeah, no, anyways, that point aside, so I got the espresso machine. Best decision I've ever made. I love it so much, Parker. It's unreal.
Good. I'm happy for you, man. I'm happy for you.
Karina, thank you for that.
Was it more expensive or less expensive than you expected?
I mean, it's a little bit more expensive, but it'll pay itself
Oh.
off in less than a year. So it was $840, and I mean that like really hurt my pocket. But I'm gonna be honest, like I buy a coffee every day, and I don't possess the willpower to not do it. And I will own this espresso machine for at least the next 10 years, and it will pay itself off.
10 years is crazy.
And well, I mean, it'll pay itself off in like 5-7 months for me, right? 5 to 7 months, easy. But I guess like the overwhelming
Seriously.
point would be is
MAGA
that, like,
math.
I will own it for at least 10 years, right? And it will like probably end up saving me a significant amount of money.
What kind of espresso machine?
It's called like a Barista Express Pro or something like that.
Also, chat, like I normally don't ask for this, but if you don't fucking follow me right now, fucking follow me. I'm literally less than 1,000 away from 1 million.
Oh,
Okay,
guys,
a little,
please help.
like just about 1,000 away from 1,000,000.
Wait, guys, we gotta have Parker hit a
So,
million.
like, I'm
live.
sorry, there's definitely 1,000 people in this live right now that don't fucking follow me right now. So I really would love you so much. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Wait, Parker, say espresso.
Sorry, fuck off. I literally, it's like the song. It's espresso.
What's up, Milo? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
No, not at all.
All right. Hey, guys.
Mary, thank you so much for the $25. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. Give this to Dean for some Carmel. Crazy.
Hey, thank you for the money gun. Someone's name says debate me. That's funny. Picture of me too.
Naomi,
Hey, guys,
thank you so much for the $5. For Dina saying caramel wrong. For real.
Would you
Casey,
guys
thank you so
please-
much for the $5. Tina, thank you for the $5.
Would you guys please only like join the queue if you think that men are better at leading than women? Because I really want to go get my pasta and make my caramel macchiato.
Logan, thank you for the $5. Thank you.
But I have to get someone up in here for a debate before I could go.
Yeah, and I have to go live too.
I know. I would really appreciate if you could cover me so I could get those two things. But if not, no worries.
Yeah, no, I'll cover you until we can.
Guys, Parker is 500 followers away from 1,000,000. What's up, Tazad? Do you think that men are better?
Did
at
I
leading
actually
than
just
women?
gain 500?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. You do? How old are you?
20.
So why do you Yo, Emma, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. So why do you think
Holy
men are
shit,
better
I
at
did
leading
just
than women?
gain 500.
I don't think
Holy
men are better
fuck.
than women, like in total. But I
Cool,
think
I push the
that
dollar.
the majority of leaders have been the best have been men.
Parker, I'm gonna let you take it while I go get my shit. I'll be right back.
Okay, so you say the majority of the leaders that have been the best are men, right? What qualities did those leaders have specifically because of their men that indicated they're better leaders?
Competitiveness.
Push the hand,
Toughness.
competitiveness, toughness. Is that it?
Risk taking.
Risk taking.
Yeah, it's just a few of them.
Okay, so competitive and toughness, right? So, one, what do you mean by toughness? Because I don't think men would have better emotional toughness or like emotional regulation. Their emotional intelligence is typically lower.
Well, maybe toughness is a wrong term to use, but I believe that they have characteristics that from the beginning of human time through evolution has given them advantages. And
So you wanted to say competitive there, and the thing I would point there is that do you think you can be overly competitive?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so wouldn't we say that that's an issue within men, that they're overly competitive and that could actually be
No,
harmful?
it's not, because I don't think overly competitive people are the best leaders. I think a person has balanced
Yeah,
competitive.
but men are more likely to be over competitive, right? If men are more likely to be over competitive, that's seen as a negative trait that exists within men that are indicative of them not being as good of a leader. That's what you're arguing there.
Not really, because the over competitive men aren't the best leaders.
Over competitive men are the best leaders, you said?
Are not.
Aren't. Yeah, I'm not saying that. Yeah, exactly my point. You think that's a worse quality for someone to have if they are a leader. If it's a worse quality for someone to have if they are a leader, then it is the case that you're going to see competitiveness not necessarily as always a good trait from men that indicates they're better, but it also can be seen as a bad trait towards men, indicating that they're not as good of a leader. So what specifically about the level? What specifically about the level of competitiveness indicates to you that men are better leaders than women? Like, what evidence do you have of that?
Whilst when people have a very strong competitive drive, they tend to be able to achieve greater things.
So you're not understanding. Again, you disagree that there can be over competitiveness. So how do you know that the levels of competitiveness that exist within men make it more desirable than the levels of competitiveness that exist within women?
Ask that question again.
How do you know that the levels of competitiveness in men are more desirable than they are in women? Because again, you said that it could lead to over competitiveness. So how do you know that?
I think there's a lot of cases of where the greatest people in their fields have been extremely competitive and are at the top of the field.
And don't you think women have been suppressed from those particular positions, right? Historically speaking, and now that they aren't being suppressed as much, they're literally fucking dominating them.
Yes,
have you seen what's happening in education?
In some aspects, yes, I do.
So what's your point, buddy?
I don't think that you can take it that you can blame patriarchy and just use patriarchy.
You can, and that's why we're seeing differences in what's happening now.
Well, then you got to disprove the points I made before. about the evolutionary aspect to why men have through evolution been able to.
Janie, thank you for the $5. Nia, thank you so much for the $5, and Zuzu, thank you so much for the $6. I'm not convinced that they have an evolutionary advantage at being better leaders.
But it's a factual.
It's not
factual.
It's not. Right, it's because the way that you define leader, right, not only is that subjective, right, but you don't have any study that you're. Name me one study that says men are better leaders.
Could you define leader?
Name me one study that says men are better leaders.
How you would define leader?
Can you answer the question? Can you name me one person?
But
one
I'm
study?
not sure how you define leader.
Please listen.
I am
Can you
listening.
name me? We will talk about that. We will talk about that. I'm just
proves
asking you. You said that it's objectively true. I'm asking, what's the one study that indicates that?
There aren't that many published studies on it these days on Google, because Google doesn't promote those type of things.
Oh, Google doesn't promote those types of things.
search engines
That's code word for trust me, bro. I don't have shit.
It's not.
That's code word for I believe in conspiracy theories that are misogynistic because I want to feel superior to women. That's what it sounds like to me. That's what it sounds like to me. Because you're perpetuating that women are worse leaders than men, saying that's objectively true, and then providing no statistical evidence or studies to indicate that to be true.
Okay,
you're saying it's within their DNA, but you have no evidence indicating that.
Words in my mouth.
You have no evidence indicating that.
You're putting words in my mouth, so how the hell would I have evidence?
I'm not putting any words in your mouth. I'm addressing exactly what you said, and I'm showing that makes no fucking sense.
No.
No.
First, we need to be able to agree on what leadership is then.
Yeah, so can you define leadership?
No, you do, because I'm arguing
You're the
against
you're the one saying that men are better leaders than women. So I'm asking you, what is a leader?
You're the one saying women are better leaders, so why is
I'm not saying women are better leaders. I actually hey,
You're the one
I don't
saying women are equal.
Wait, that nice moving the goalpost, but can you define leader for me real quick?
Yeah, I would say that a leader is someone who's in the forefront of leading a particular
You just
group.
use leading within the definition. What is a leader?
I'd say a leader is someone who is the core and leading a particular group.
Leading.
Greater.
So can you define leader without leading?
Yeah, putting them on the right direction and towards something greater. More
Putting them in
beneficiary.
So can you explain to me how men are better at directing people towards the right thing more than women?
I mean, if you want to look at statistically, you can look at almost all the managerial roles are.
What statistics? You just said that you can't find them on Google. What statistics?
You can just search it up.
What statistics? Where? You said I couldn't use Google.
You can search it. I didn't say that. I said
What
that
search
Google.
engine do I need to go to? You said they don't show it on Google.
That's not what I said.
That's exactly what you said. Appreciate the beating heart. Casey, thank you so much for the $2. What'd you say then?
I said that there's no articles or statistics that prove that men are better leaders, but there are articles and statistics that indicate that men are better leaders.
Which ones?
Such as men having more managerial positions in successful companies.
No, them having more managerial positions does not mean that they're better in those managerial positions, right? And also
Then
doesn't
why
explain
aren't
why
women?
they're in those managerial positions in the first place, because it's not predicated off of skill, it's predicated off of patriarchy. So what you're doing is you're looking at patriarchy and you're saying because patriarchy exists, what you're saying is because patriarchy exists, that means that it's that like men are better than women. You can also reductio your view and say, oh, if you think that just because more people are in managerial positions, that means that they're better, well, then you would say this is also true for abled individuals comparative to disabled people. You would also say that this is relative to people who are black comparative to people who are white, right? In the past, right? You're saying that when there was like literally systemic racism, there is still today. You're saying that because it is the case that people who are black have been limited from being in these positions of power, that means that they're not as good or that they're worse at leading.
Racism?
That's insane.
But how can we live in a patriarchal society when there's been two females who almost became president?
Almost.
In the past, 3 elections.
Almost
I mean,
is crazy, dude. Wait,
where-
that's like saying how does racism exist if Barack Obama was president? That's a ridiculous statement. What are you talking about,
You could say
dude?
that how could systemic racism exist if Barack Obama was president? That's more valid.
Systemic racism does exist, right? That doesn't change whether or not Barack Obama exists as president. You understand that you just don't understand what systemic racism is in that context.
Wait, can you just give me 30 seconds to go downstairs? I'm
I'll have to kick you and go to the next person.
No. Come on.
Okay. Well,
Oh, no,
if you need to go do something while we're on live, I'm gonna go to the next person
It takes 20
because it's
seconds.
clearly okay. 20 seconds, right?
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Okay, he just like said I need to leave for 20 seconds, Dean.
Hello.
That's what he just
Hi.
said.
So I got my goods. I'm back now.
You got your goods? All right, bro.
You're 100 away from a million?
Apparently I am, let me see. I am 120 away, it looks like. It's not like updating. I need to look at the live count.
Good. Are you going to hit a million?
Does
on this
anyone
live?
know where the live count is? Isn't there a live count on TikTok?
There's a... Oh, yeah. You click on your actual followers.
Yo,
Yeah,
Matt,
it doesn't tell me.
You trying to continue where we left off?
So this guy
Allison,
thinks
thank
that-
you so much for the $25. Thank you so
Mr.
much. I really
Ignore your
appreciate
guests.
that. Thank you so much. Oh, I hit a million. That's crazy, bro.
No way. Parker has
Bro,
hit
that's
a million followers, ladies and
Dean's
gentlemen.
at 2. Dean's literally at 2 million. But
yeah,
thank
well,
you so
I'm,
much.
I'm just
that's
happy.
insane. That's so
'Cause
insane.
I didn't get a chance to celebrate either of those milestones on live,
Congratulations.
so now we get to celebrate it for you.
Matthew,
Let's
thank
get
you for the
some- dude,
$5 for
W's.
congrats. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Matthew. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate that. It's honestly crazy. It's weird to see the M next to the number. Like, it's really weird.
I know it is, dude. That's such a huge milestone. W's
That
for
is
Parker
probably
in the chat for a
that is
million
probably the biggest
followers.
milestone. That is probably the biggest milestone, to be honest.
You guys trying
It
to get
is.
back to it?
What's up?
You trying to get back to where we left off?
No, honestly, I don't like you.
It's too bad. We let me in.
Well, Parker gets to control the live for like 30 more seconds while I take a bite.
Goda, thank you so much. I appreciate the $5. Thank you so much. And I'll use that 30 seconds with good executive action. I promise you, chat. Very great executive action. You see that? That was really good. Thank you, everyone. Kiara, thank you so much for the $50 for congrats on 1 million. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Kiara. Thank you. Bethany, thank you so much for the $5 for congrats for 1 mil. Thank you so much. Janie, thank you so much for the $45 for congrats on 1 million. Thank you so much, Janie. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for the $45. Thank you so much. Juliet with the $10 for congratulations, Parker. Thank you. Candace, thank you so much for the $5 for pretend this is $1 million. Okay, thank you for the
Yo,
million. I appreciate
Jeremy,
it.
thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo for congrats to Parker for a million followers. I really
Yo,
appreciate you for the love.
Maddie, thank you so much for the $5 for congrats on 1 million. You deserve it. Thank you so much. Samantha, thank you so much for the $5 for congrats on a mil, buddy. Or Batty, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Tara with the $30 for congrats to one of the best. Thank you so much, Tara. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Nicole with the $5 for congrats on a million. Thank you so much. Amber, thank you so much for the $10 for congrats on a million. Thank you so much, everyone. Y'all are fucking incredibly kind. Kaylee, thank you so much for the $10 for the congrats. Right, for you deserve every follower you've got. Andrew, thank you so
Parker?
much for the $1 for a million. Thank you so much. Amber, thank you so much for the $10 for a million.
You know, Parker.
And Zuzu, thank
we
you for the
rarely-
$5 for a mil.
I rarely ever do this for you. In fact, it is typically against you. But you know what I
Wait, I have a feel. I have a feeling what you're about to do.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Up, 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 'cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make 'em stay there.
Oh my god, that's so fucking Why do I feel like I'm gonna see this on my For You page later?
Congratulations, Mr. Parker, for hitting 1 million
God.
followers, ladies
Oh,
and
that's
gentlemen.
so fucking funny. Yo, thank you. I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate it. Dean's the ultimate hype man. Dean is the ultimate hype man. Andrew, thank you for the $1. Noel, thank you so much for the $2 for congrats, Parker. Cameron, thank you so much for the $1. I really appreciate it. Kaiden, thank you so much. I appreciate the $20. Thank you so much for been watching since COVID debates. Congrats, bro. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. It's crazy how far I've come. It's honestly insane. It's honestly insane. Hype, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Ella, thank you so much for the $20 for congrats, Parker. Thank you so much. Alex, thank you so much for the $20 for congrats from Sweden on 1 million. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You're so kind. Thank you.
Tommy, thank you for the $10 on Venmo for supporting Parker. I appreciate that.
Maze, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you so much. I appreciate for W for the 1 mil. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Y'all are incredibly kind. Oh my god, that was so funny, bro. I'm actually gonna see that on my For You page later. Appreciate the hearts.
Probably.
That's so funny. Riv, thank you so much. I appreciate the $5 for congrats. I don't listen to music anymore, but you and Dean, just you and Dean for like 5 weeks. Honestly, that's like me. I've like stopped listening to so much music now that I listen to so many lives.
No, I agree with that. And I used to be such a big music guy too. Now I barely listen to anything at all.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, you guys. Well, are you gonna go start your own live? Hang out here for a little bit longer. What's your plan?
Probably. Yeah, I probably should get going.
But I'll probably be here for like another hour, and I could come over and join you in about an hour.
But I'll probably do politics because and whatnot today. Emily, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you so much, Emily. All right, everyone. Jaden, thank you so much for the $5 as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll be right back, everyone, on my main. Love y'all. See y'all.
All right, well, chat, we're going to be going over to Parker's account in about an hour, guys. So we're going to go ahead and finish our day off here with about another hour of debates. Riley, thank you so much for the $1 on Venmo. Everybody say bye to Parker. Show Parker some love. We're going to move on to our next guest here, y'all. So everybody just do give us a minute. For the 10.2,000 people hanging out with us in here today, make sure that we are double tapping away on that phone screen. And if you do think that men are better at leading than women, make sure to hop in that queue to let me know. We're going to move on to our next guest literally right now, guys. And please, if you are in the queue, just make sure that you think that men are better at leading than women. We're just looking for some debates. And all right, we're going to go ahead and get our next guest up in here. Hey, what's going on? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
I do.
Oh, why?
Unfortunately, yeah.
So why do you think that?
So when I think of traits of what being a leader, I think risk taking. I've heard the discussions about morality in being a leader, and I kind of want to hear your thoughts on why you think that's good for being a leader.
Morality? Yeah, because a leader is someone who could look at the people around them and point them in the same direction with efficiency. A good leader is someone who could look at the people around them and point them in a good and not just any direction, but a good direction, right? Not to mention that we look up to our leaders. They set the precedent. They set the standard for behavior. And I mean, if they set a bad precedent and a bad standard for behavior, that just further reflects negatively on who they're leading, right? And would also just make it more inefficient as a whole. But I think the fact that you question why good principles are required for good leadership.
Well, I don't want you to like take a stab at me for this, but I think it just sounds more of what you would prefer from a leader, not what makes a good leader. Like, you can prefer your leader to be moral.
Wait, would you say that Hitler was a good leader because although he was immoral, he was able to basically take over Europe?
I don't think he was a moral leader. I think he was a good leader.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying. My definition's different.
So that's your fucking issue. You think that Hitler's a good leader. Would you say that Hitler's a better leader than most women could ever be?
I mean, there's not enough example to say.
Thank you for the $5 on Vim. I appreciate you for the love. Answer the damn question.
I don't think it's. I think another problem with you saying they're equal is that there's not enough example, and I get it. Like, misogyny proves.
Wait, so you're just kind of like unsure if Hitler's a better leader than most women could be?
I personally, I think with my definition, he would be.
So, if Hitler was running against a random woman in the next election, you'd feel safer hedging your bet on Hitler.
I wouldn't want him to lead me. That's what I'm saying. Moral is a preference for your leader. It's not who I'd want to lead me, but he was a good leader.
So you don't want good leaders to lead you?
That's what I'm saying. It's a preference.
You want bad
leaders? It's a preference for your leader. Huh?
So then,
Sorry,
so you don't want good leaders to lead you.
I've just explained that I would prefer someone moral to lead me, right?
What do you think?
But
What do you
that's
think
my
I mean when I
preference for
say
a
a good
leader.
leader? That's just going to be one of the qualifiers that you use to determine who's a good leader.
I value morality differently. I think
I've no. Does
you
anyone
can.
know what like the fuck this guy is saying? Like I don't.
I'm saying
I don't.
here. Let me
So
clarify. Can
there's
I
like
clarify before you
10,000.
take stabs at me?
There's like 10,000 people in this live. I'm not sure
I
if
get that.
anybody knows what you're saying.
Okay, then let me clarify. So, right, we take the example of Hitler. Terrible guy, right?
And
He
terrible
did.
leader.
Yeah, let's say but he did lead all those people to do terrible things. How did he do that? He leaded them.
In
And
a very
I'm not a
bad,
great
poor
communicator,
direction
but this
with
I
very
think
bad,
if
poor
we can have a
leadership.
discussion. Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Apologies.
He led them in a bad direction with bad leadership.
He led them to the goal he wanted. That did he not?
You think that Hitler's goal was killing himself in a bunker while his right crumbled to the ground?
I don't think that was his like be all end all, of course, but he did lead. He did
And
have
and
a
even
goal of
and even if like
raising all
he
these people in the
wait,
war.
and then even if he achieved his goal of like world domination of the quote unquote Aryan race, would you say that Hitler's the best leader that has ever existed?
He certainly would be the most successful, and would
No,
that says a
the
lot.
best,
It would make him a good leader.
the best leader.
Yeah, I think if you're trying to spin this into like, oh my gosh, you love him.
You do love Hitler, and we're gonna go ahead and move on to someone that's not a Nazi. Everybody, just give us a minute. I don't even need to argue that. We all know that that's ludicrous. It's just best not to platform it. So we're gonna go ahead and move on. Yeah, like it's just. At that point, it's not even worth the debate. We're just gonna move on so we don't platform that dangerous rhetoric. Everybody, just do give us a minute, you guys. Let's go ahead and see what our next guest has to say. We got HHD loading up into the chat here, y'all. That guy, yeah, holy shit. All right, we're gonna go to move on. If you are in the chat, make sure that you are voting for Trump. If you do think that men are better at leading than women. And Katie, thank you for the $6 and the 18 cents on PayPal for being awesome. I appreciate you for the love, Katie. What's up, HHD? Do you think that men are better at leading than women? HHD, hello? All right, HHD is just not here, so we're going to go to move on. I would really like everyone in the guest request to just reflect if that's a place you should be. These debates are taking like 5 years to get on the road. And I just wish that wasn't the case. Like, just reflect if you should be in the guest requests. Reflect if you want to come up here and debate me. And if you don't check those boxes, just head out. You know what I mean? Stefan, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love, Stefan. Everyone, please show some love to Stefan in the chat. Hi, Bert. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Hey, I'd like to start off by saying I'm a conservative. My girlfriend's a Democrat. I've been watching you a lot, and I respect you a lot. And tell Parker I said congratulations on 1 million. I think you could argue historically, men have been given more societal influences and resources to lead.
Can we try something? Can you
more...
A, go into a different room where the TV isn't on, and then B, somehow
I'm
fix
so
the
sorry.
mic so it's not that bad?
Do you mind turning that down or off? Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, there we go. So, do you think men are better at leading than women?
My volume is not up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, do you think men are better at leading than women, Bert?
I think in the modern day, no, I don't think men have any biological.
All right, we're going to go to move on to our next guest. Guys, if your answer to the question behind my head is no, please don't join in the guest requests. We've been dealing with this struggle for 3 hours. You know what I mean? We've been dealing with this struggle for 3 hours. If your answer to the question behind my head is no, don't join in the queue. Hi, Brent. Do you think that men are better at leading to women?
Hey, what's up? Hey, so I just want to let you know that I'm more right-leaning, but I've been listening to you for the past couple of days, and I appreciate what you say, so I'm learning a lot, and I appreciate that. But I want to say it's more situational, so I kind of want to give a little context to that. So I've been in the Army for about 12 years now, and in high-stress situations, I tend to see men take more of the stance of leading the troops in the right direction in that sense. And I think, and then going from like maybe to my house, like I listen to my wife when she tries to lead me in the direction of our children. So I kind of take it from that stance. Like,
Okay. Yeah, even in situational situations, I still don't think that there's a predication on gender or sex. For instance, we know that women are just biologically designed to deal stress better. Piper, do you think that men are generally better at leading than women?
Yes, I do.
And how old are you?
I am 18 years old.
And why would you ever think that? Carly, thank you for the $3 on PayPal.
I think it's more what I've been taught to think. I'm like in I'm in like a situation where I grew up in a situation where like it was taught that like men were like better than women.
So thinking for yourself, systemic misogyny aside, do you think men are better at leading than women?
I guess not. Sorry.
It's okay, Piper. I would implore you to continue to watch the live so I could, help debunk a lot of the things that you've been taught. I mean, there's internal conflicts there that are hard to resolve. It takes a very long time. Hi, Fig. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Hey, how you doing, Dean?
Doing all right.
Sorry, my son's in the room. Let me switch
You're
rooms.
good, Fig. Just because we've had a lot of people coming up here that are not supposed to be in the queue, I just need a pretty quick answer. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Yes.
Okay. Marwa, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love, Marwa. Everyone, make sure to show Marwa some love. So why is that?
So
you're on pause. I can't hear you. You need to be able to see me for me to hear you. Also, guys, I got my caramel macchiato.
Yeah. So I was actually looking into this the last few days, so it's funny that you went on your live today, but have you heard of the Pew Research organization, like pewresearch.org?
Yes, I've heard of Pew. They're pretty reputable for the most part.
Yeah, so when I was going over all their things today, women do lead in a lot of the statistics, right, when it comes to it. But in my opinion, the ones that matter the most, which I wish I would have screenshot on my phone, because I don't want to have to like switch over to be paused.
Rickava, thank you for the $2 on Venmo to drop the caramel macchiato recipe. It's like just a couple pumps of vanilla, some caramel, you mix it together, you put the espresso in, then you mix it with steamed milk. Go ahead, Vic.
Women statistically on the Pew Research do lead in a lot of the categories for what makes a better leader. But in the categories that I think do matter the most, men ended up leading in those categories.
Like what?
Are you okay if I pause again to go back to that to look at it really quick?
Yeah, just memorize it real quick. But just keep in mind I won't be able to hear you when you're not in the TikTok app. In the meantime, guys, make sure that we're double tapping on that phone screen. If you want to support me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are my bio. Guys, I've been having so much fun with my espresso machine. It's been so difficult for me not to talk about it. I'm gonna be so honest with you guys. Heidi, thank you for the $10 on Venmo, saying here's $10 worth of nearly $14 in Canada. Hey, I appreciate you for that, Heidi. Thank you so much. W's for Heidi down below in that chat. Thank you.
Okay, so I guess when I'm talking about leader, I'm talking about public office. So when it comes to national security, as well as
Riff E I K. I'm sorry for mispronouncing your name.
Public safety and national security, I think, are the two biggest things when it comes to what a leader can bring, whether that's at your daily job, what you're able to do there, as well as anywhere else in society. Those are probably the two biggest focal points that will make a good leader. Is protecting those around you. And men statistically lead in those specific categories.
I mean, like, what's the predication for this determination? What's the differences between men and women that make men more able to protect those around them?
That's what I'm actually, because I'm open. I'm actually, unlike most people that have been on here, I'm actually open to having my mind changed by you.
Okay. There's no predication. that men have a greater ability to quote unquote protect those around them compared to women.
So that's
the only
would
argument
you
that you'd be
see-
able to make is going to be physical strength. But when we're talking about positions of leadership, you're not going to use your biceps to protect those around you.
Yeah, I know. I agree with that. But what I'm saying is, do you,
Marwa,
would
thank you for the
see
$10 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love, Marwa.
Would you see PewResearch.org as a viable source or no?
Yeah, Pew's pretty reliable. I don't know what stat you're reporting, and I don't know like what it is being communicated based on. Like you could totally be looking at a study right now that says men are like generally more equipped in like self-defense due to typically larger muscle mass. Then you're just
No.
Like I don't know what I don't
The
know.
study I'm
I don't know the argument that you're giving me. I really
no, the
don't.
study-
You could be giving me a survey. You could just be, You could just be giving me a survey of people that like traditionalism. Like
the
I don't.
study I'm looking at is specifically for public office. Women
so-
lead in every category.
What
Women
does that?
lead
What does
in
that even
every
mean? Like
category.
what? Like you're looking at a study that tells us what?
That what categories women and men are better in at leading?
How do we know that men are better at leading and protecting those around them? Like what resources is the study using to make that determination?
No, what I'm saying is when it comes to making not them physically protecting people around them, but the decisions of security and stuff like that seem to always be better made by men more than women.
Okay,
but
why?
women make up the category,
Okay,
make
why?
up the better decisions of everything else.
So why do men make better decisions in that category?
No, that's what I'm coming in here to ask you specifically.
It's your source, bro. I don't know.
No, I was just, like I said, I'm here to try to have my mind changed because I'm genuinely open to it and I respect you in that manner.
I
And so
appreciate
I'm-
you, Fig, but I
Yeah.
can't give you like input on whatever study you're referencing.
Yeah.
You got to be able to tell me these things. If you could tell me like why the study / survey says men are better at that, then I'd be able to debate you. But I can't just debate the claim.
Okay.
I got to
Yeah,
debate the
okay, well,
reasons behind the
I-
claim.
All right. Well, then I 100% respect that, Dean. I apologize. The last thing I will say is, have you listened to the Scott Jennings speech on CNN after the election?
No.
I feel that's probably the most respectable thing I've ever seen from the CNN side, and I would suggest maybe you just giving it a listen. It's like 30-second speech that Scott Jennings did. I think it's worth everyone.
Okay, thanks for coming up. Anyway, it's just like the goal of these like you have to give me reasons why you believe it. Guys, for everyone coming out, I need to know why you find something to be true. And if you're just going to give me a source that says men better than women, I got to know why the source says that, right? Because that's the conversation that I want to have. Hey, Dango, do you think that men are better at leading than women? You've been in my guest request forever.
I'm using my daughter's account. I'm David. Yes, I do think so.
So why do you think that?
A couple points. First
Before
of
I
all,
allow you to continue, Cash, thank you so much for the $40 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. Cash says pronounce caramel right next time. Honestly, for $40, you got it. I appreciate you for the donation. Everybody, please show some love to Cash down below. And then Lilja, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. Go ahead, man.
I think men are generally more ambitious. They're bigger risk takers, and the most important thing is actually men are more violent.
Does anyone hear that? Does anyone think that this actually is not his daughter's account at all?
Why?
I can't check the posts, but I just have a feeling based upon the profile picture and the way that the bio is laid out that that's not your daughter's account.
Yes, it is. It's
Okay. Well, we see the picture of your daughter. You could turn on your camera. I just sent you an invite. Turn on your camera so we could, just see that you look similar.
Sure. Amazing.
Okay.
That's my daughter. All right.
My apologies.
How'd I turn
Anyways, wow. Sorry. No. It also has nothing to do with the fact that you're Asian or not Asian. I thought that was like a catfish picture of a random woman from the internet, and
She
well,
tries
we're all
to
wrong.
be an influencer, but I don't have a TikTok account. But I heard your conversations, and I wanted to join in.
Okay, awesome. So you said that you think men are What if you're like catfishing with a picture of your daughter? I don't know. Anyways,
her choice.
Sorry, let's get back to it. So you think that men are better at leading than women because of violence? I don't think that violence is a good trait of leadership.
I think violence is what underpins the society's enforcement of rules.
Violence is underpins with the society's enforcement of rules. Well, I mean, I think that you could have like force and authority without violence, right? But then violence is going to be like
I agree.
an ultimatum.
Yeah, but violence is what controls the bad actors.
Well, I mean, maybe we could say that like a tool of authority is going to be separate from a tool of leadership, right? Because like in a functioning multifaceted government, right, like the president isn't going to be like locking people up and bringing the gavel down to swiftly pursue justice, right? The president of our country, for instance, is going to be leading the country in the right direction, and those that don't follow the rules, that break the law, right, are then brought down with the gavel from the criminal justice system or other like non-related checks and balances. But like I don't think that like Donald Trump is going to be a better leader than Kamala Harris because Donald Trump is more violent than Kamala Harris. If anything, I think
don't disagree with that.
And worse social outcomes.
I don't necessarily I don't disagree with that because I don't think Donald Trump will be a good president. But I think society standards and morals are more fluid and it changes over time. And the only thing that enforces these changes has always been based on.
So would you say that like Hitler was a good leader because he was incredibly violent?
Well, he accomplished some things, but no, he's not a good leader.
Yeah, so I don't think that violence is going to be a good trait then.
I think violence is necessary, and it is. It might not be a public trait, but it is what underpins society and the rules of law.
Do you happen to be with your daughter right now?
No.
Why do you have access to her account?
I have her phone.
Why do you have your phone if she's not with you?
She's outside.
Can you just go get your daughter real quick?
See. I will see her.
So where's your daughter?
She's outside.
Go outside with her.
I can't.
Why?
Huh?
Why can't you go outside with her?
Well, because I'm pretending to be working, and I don't want other people to see I'm actually trolling.
No, this is giving very weird vibes. I don't know if she exists.
Well, I mean, vibes or not, I'm here to talk about your line. I think in the current modern society, that's what I think.
Does she live with you?
Yes.
Okay. So in the floor of all of these videos that I see a very distinct, unique red tiled floor with a white accent. Can you turn on your camera and show us that floor?
That's not our house. She didn't want to do that in our house.
It definitely is because it's in every single video.
No, it's not our house. It's her little streaming room.
A little streaming room that's not in the house? Then where is the little streaming room?
She goes somewhere else to stream.
Where, like, does she like rent a studio?
No, it's a different property.
So she owns a whole separate property for content creation, even though she has like less than 2,000 followers. And there's no, there's no way that she generates a sufficient amount of income, right,
well,
to like justify
no, she
buying
doesn't generate enough
for
income.
content creation. I can't even justify buying a studio for my content creation, and I have millions of followers.
It's not buying. So she is in a different. She streams on a different platform previously. Was a effectively enough of a living, but she wanted to change to TikTok. So, and these are older videos.
Wait. So when I go to like any other platform, I will instantly gain hundreds of thousands of followers. right? And like that's the level that you have to be at to be able to like justify expensing the purchasing of a property to make content, right? Like
So
I'm maybe at a point where I'm like just now starting to
I don't
consider the
understand
potentiality of like renting out
mechanics.
one moment of like renting out a space to like create content from, to do my streams from. And I mean that's like a $400 a month like tiny little business office in a big building, right? And I have millions of followers, and like that's like just now becoming like a practical thing for me to do.
Like I said, I don't understand the streaming or the economics of it, right? Or what, but she does, we do pay for that studio, not a studio, it's actually just an apartment that she goes to and to do her stuff. And we did own a space before we sold that. But anyways, can we go back to the topic at hand you're interested in?
Almost. One moment.
Sure.
Where did it go? Give me one moment here. Save image as to desktop. Let's see. We're gonna go.
Those
ahead
are
and just-
AIs. A lot of people are acting this account. Sure, you think that's AI?
Give us 1 minute. You guys. Okay, here we go. Upload recent. Let's see here. It's on my desktop. Well, I gotta. Oh, there it is. Give me a minute here, guys. Just doing something real quick. I'm just yeah, that's AI.
How's that AI? That's a human being.
No. So that's like an AI generated picture of someone, because the image populates no results on reverse image searches, not even results from like any other social media account that she could ever own, or your TikTok.
It's not on TikTok or any of the US any popular app in the US. Like I said, we're not.
This is like some really weird shit.
I mean, whatever you think, but it's not. She did not stream on a US-based platform, and she did not have US socials.
You're telling me that so you're telling me that you rent out an apartment every month just for her to make these videos in, but yet you have only posted one video in the last 10 months.
Yes, she's not seeing any returns on here, so she went back to whatever she was doing before.
Oh, what other social media is she on?
So she streams on a social platform. I think it's called Inke, so it's a Chinese platform.
Okay. Well, I mean, I wish I'd be able to find that on the internet. I don't know like Mandarin or like the Chinese alphabet, so I wouldn't be able to look that one up.
Yeah, she also has her profile on Douyin. Maybe I can get the name for that to you.
Does anyone else just like have like a really strange like gut feeling about this?
I mean, whatever you feel. I feel like we're talking about something else, aren't we?
We're just gonna kick him and move on. That's just like a very like weird feeling. All right, we're gonna go to get our next guest up in here. Like they're just weird. That's like very, very weird. You know what I mean? Like I have a feeling like he just created that account, used AI to make a picture of like a conventionally attractive woman, maybe even used AI to make the videos too, and then we'll like catfish men that will DM that account into like sending him money, and then he just uses it as like a prop up scam. That's kind of my feeling. That's kind of like my feeling on it. And it looks like he was like pretty deep into it like last year. Then like kind of like stopped doing it. But like just still it's the only TikTok he has because he probably doesn't care about this app too much and he was just scrolling on it and then found this live. So that's kind of what I feel like, So we're going to go ahead and move on to our next guest. Hey, what's going on? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
No, I just couldn't get out of the live. My bad.
Oh, no worries. Don't you trip. We're going to move on to our next guest here, guys. Actually, I wanted to offer y'all a couple alternative solutions. I have about another hour and 10 minutes on live before I get off for the day. Would you guys prefer we use like maybe 20, 30 minutes of that time just to sit here and have a little bit of a Q&A? Sit back, take some questions? Or like continue to like, I don't know. Because I feel like we haven't been able to find a lot of like good conversations on this topic. And like right now, like I'm just kind of like testing out like a bunch of different topics to see what will yield decent conversations. But a lot of these topics don't. And I don't know why. I think it's because a lot of people are just throwing my guest requests, kind of agree, kind of disagree, not really know what they're doing there. And it just creates really like unstructured conversations. But yeah, we're just going to sit here and do a Q&A for a little bit. So feel free to ask me questions in the chat, you guys. If you have a pressing question that you'd like to get answered straight away, my Venmo, my PayPal, or my bio, I'll be reading those from the top of my phone screen. But I'm going to see what I could get to in the chat. Great. Do religion? Yeah, well, I mean, we'll probably do that coming up, but I think that my main contention with religion isn't like people believing in faith. It's people that use it in like very negative ways. Like, I don't really care if you're a Christian. I just care if you're a Christian and use that to condemn others. Let's see here. What's my height? So I'm 5'10". I am 5'10". I just hang out with a bunch of really tall people. So when I'm standing next to Parker, I look short, quite frankly. Okay, this person is just spam inviting me to a co-host. That's so annoying. Do I plan on... Okay, one second. What does this person want?
One game, please.
It was the same person that was spam inviting me yesterday. Okay. All right. Anyways, Matthew, thank you for the $3 on Vim. I appreciate you for the love. Okay. All right. Joy in the chat just asked if I'm feeling freaky. Joy, mods, ban them. Blow their house up, ban them. Well, now just play. Should I play a game with her? No. Okay. Well, now like other people are inviting me too. Who's Erickson?
Yo, Dean, what's up, man?
Erickson, what do you want?
Oh, I don't know. I just invited you. I didn't know you were gonna accept.
Okay. Bye, Erickson. Moving on. Okay. I need. How do I turn off my fucking invites? Everyone is spam inviting me now. Oh my god, they're just coming in constantly. Jesus Christ. Okay, wait. I found the button to turn them off, but I can't hit it. Wait, 1 second. Allow invitations from people that you may know. There we go. All right, no one else can invite me now. Faye, thank you for the $3 of Vim. I appreciate you for the love. Would you ever move to LA and live next to Parker? And Samantha, thank you for the $3. Would you ever do a Patreon? So about moving to LA, that's actually something I've been considering, but I just don't want to be that cliche, get followers on like social media, then move to LA. But it'd just be so much more convenient for me because I fly around a lot and I do a lot of things, and it really sucks living in like the middle of nowhere. But I just don't know if I will ever bring myself to moving to LA just for the reason that I don't want to be that cliche, you know? And then also, thank you. Would I ever start a Patreon? I don't really know too much about Patreon. Jacob, I appreciate you for the $5 on PayPal saying I'm in the request, bring me up. I'm just doing a little bit of a Q&A right now. Thoughts on Charlie Kirk? I don't really like him or his beliefs. I'd love to have another debate with him, though. Isabella, thank you for the $5 on Vimeo. Do I plan on coming to DC? Yeah, I'd like to go to DC, but like contrary to popular belief, I'm not like in the Democrat establishment. I don't really know anyone in DC. So I feel like I'd probably have to know a handful of people down there first before I'd go. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Do I like Lana Del Rey? Of course. I love her music. Always have. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Maya, thank you for the $3 on Vimeo. What are your thoughts on gun control? I just think it's pretty fair and good to keep guns out of bad people's hands with more gun control. And I mean, that's what the empirics show too. Gun control works, regardless of the Republican propaganda that people have tried to shove down your throat for the last 30 years, it works. Andrew, thank you so much for the $2 on Venmo. Did I do debate in high school? I did for like 2 months, but then I left because I thought it was lame. Let's see. Come to London? I actually got an invite out to London. Someone said that they'd pay for all my expenses so I could go out there and go on their podcast. Let's see. Am I a natural blonde? I sure am. Ops on free will? That's a strange question. Like ops on free will within like a theism debate? I don't know what you're asking. Let's see here. Dean, you joined my live yesterday? Yes, I know Dean Withers Edits. One of your posts of me showed up on my For You page and I saw that you were live. Michaela, thank you for the $2 on Venmo. Thank you. Hi, Dean. Hello, Izza. Would I ever be a politician? Good question. Would Dean Withers ever be a politician? I think that will probably end up happening. I see it as increasingly likely with every day that passes. I won't lie. Matthew, thank you for the $3 on Venmo. Do I still play Fortnite? I don't. I haven't played that for a while. Alex, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Advice to those that want to start streaming / doing more with content: just be consistent. That's the best advice I could ever give you. I mean, I think I will inevitably end up being a politician. Like something I can maybe reflect on is, for whatever reason, people like listen to words that come out of my mouth, and that's reflective of my platform. Susan, I appreciate you for the $5 on Venmo. And maybe like being a politician, holding a public office would give me more of an ability to like sway the opinion and actually implement real change through legislation. So I mean, I think that's very possible for me to do. I mean, a lot of people like spam, like Dean for president, whatnot. Correlate, I appreciate you for the $4 on PayPal. That'll probably never happen. I mean, it's a fun, cute thought, but it probably wouldn't happen. But I mean, that'd be cool. I like making jokes out of it. I actually think that's something that I'm gonna do after I get off my live here today. Is I'm gonna go post something on my main account about how I'm gonna run for president in like 30 years. Yeah. Jaden, thank you for the $5 on Venmo, saying I just want to thank you for what you do. I appreciate you, Jaden. Lennox, thank you for the $2. And Layla, thank you for the $10 on Venmo, asking if I think that all conservatives are inherently bad / evil. No, I think that there's a very large mass of conservatives that are there just because they're ignorant and not educated. Matthew, thank you for the $3 on PayPal. Can I please start a podcast? I mean, yeah, it's probably going to be like the next thing I do that's big. Charlie, thank you for the $2 on Venmo. Is starting a podcast. I think that the time has come when I need to expand my voice a little bit beyond immediate TikTok lives, and that will probably be through a podcast. So, I mean, I'd say that will probably happen in the next 4 months. Samantha, thank you for the $2 on PayPal. Why are people spamming in the chat? I really like the idea of a podcast because it's a place where I could speak like I do on my lives, and then it's like recorded. It's just on the record on a YouTube video forever. So, yeah. What's my favorite color? Definitely forest green. Opinions on trans people? No differently than my opinions on cis people. I don't really think that someone's alignment between their gender identity and phenotypical sex traits gives me enough information to determine any valuable opinion. How old am I? I'm 20. I'm 20 years old. In fact, I turned 20 in September 1st. But I will forever be the woke 19-year-old liberal because of the one Jubilee video. Oh, man. Thoughts on Bryce Hall? Joke. That's what my thoughts on Bryce Hall are. Absolute joke. Where did I learn how to debate? Just through, honestly, just doing it. Hopping in these spaces, even when I didn't really have any skills or knowledge, and just constantly getting better at it. Someone says that I'm getting old. I know, bro, for real. I need a walker. Right, my knees are going out. 20 years old. I am elderly. Leela, thank you for the $5 on Venmo, saying I just appreciate everything that you do. Thank you so much, Leela. Dean, will I be your boyfriend for 5 seconds? Nope. Someone in the chat said, Unk, so real. Dean, can you say hi, Morgan, for an edit? Hi, Morgan. I better see a fire edit. I better see it, Morgan. Everybody, pressure Morgan into making a fire edit. WSJ published an article on the recount. Yeah, I actually do see that picking up some steam. I do. How did me and Parker meet? We had a mutual friend where we played Fortnite together, and then we just became pretty good friends over time. Claire, I thank you for the $3 on Venmo. Fleur says, do you remember me? Fleur, you've been watching since I had like 300 people in here. Of course I remember you. Isabel, thank you for the $2 on PayPal. Who would I invite on my podcast? Anyone and everyone. I'm not going to lie. I'd try to get Charlie Kirk on there. He might even be like the first guest because he said that he'd be down to debate me after the election. Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro, Tucker Carlson. I'd be going for all the big dogs. Shanjeev, thank you for the $1 on Venmo. Bryn, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I appreciate you. Show us the espresso machine. Oh, it's in the living room and my brother's out there working, so I better not. But it's really cool. Yeah, that's like my biggest purchase in a very long time, so that was a little bit hard on the heart. Juliana, thank you for the $2 in PayPal. But it was totally worth it. Ben, thank you for the $2 and the 22 cents on PayPal. I appreciate that. It was like $800, but doing the math, if I spend like $5.70 on coffee a day, seemingly I'll be able to count my money a handful of months. Tom, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I appreciate that. So I mean, it's an investment. It's an investment. That's the only reason I bought it. Literally, like the only reason I bought it was because I'll be able to recoup that original investment and then some over time. But it is really nice to have. And now I'm drinking more coffee, so maybe it won't add up in the end. Marwa, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love, Marwa. You are awesome. Would I ever come to Washington State? Yeah, I'll probably be going to a lot more college campuses. But the only issue with that is that will probably be something that pops up in another 4 years. Unless I just kind of want to like copy Charlie Kirk and start touring like he did. You know what I mean? Would I ever start vlogging? Yeah. I like the idea of more lifestyle content. But it'd probably be productive vlogs. Rebecca, thank you for the $3 on PayPal. And Marwa, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. Debate now? Fuck you. Matthew, thank you for the $3 on Venmo. Let's see. Someone in the chat said, come to Utah? I'm actually in Utah all the time. My sister lives in Salt Lake. Do I live with my brother? Yes. Me and my brother live together. It's a pretty good time. Honestly, I think that we both really enjoy it because we both work jobs where we're kind of socially isolated. And living together gives us the opportunity to like have someone in your immediate proximity. And it really helps out with like a lot of the mental health issues that could be caused through like social isolation. Anya, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love, Anya. But honestly, I probably am going to get a place of my own here soon. And the reason I say that is because I want to be able to be a bit louder, not have to worry about like waking my brother up or just staying on live later into the night. And I feel like that's something I could really only achieve if I have my own place. You have a good radio voice? I don't get that. I don't understand why people say that. I've never thought that myself. Someone in the chat says, how does it feel to get famous? I wouldn't say I'm famous. But I definitely am blown away by the expansion of my platform. I think it's pretty awesome. Oscar, thank you for the $11 and the 11 cents on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love, Oscar. Sylvia, thank you for the $2. Maya, thank you for the $5. I appreciate you guys for the love. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and shoot Parker a raid. I'm going to be on with Parker for about 50 minutes. But we're just going to go have fun with the co-host for the last 50 minutes. But I will see each and every single one of you guys very shortly. If one of you guys would comment at Parker get a job in that chat, so we could go over and send him a raid. But I saw one last question. Do I ever get recognized in public? Everywhere I go, man. Everywhere I go. Courtney, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I really do like it. I'd say the only time I don't like it is when I'm like going out. Maple, thank you for the money gun. And like, I'll get like swarmed. But I still love all the people. It's just like, I don't love the setting of like getting like swarmed like that because it's a little bit overwhelming at times. But I love all the people that come up to me. And you know what I really love in my hometown, where we have very like Republican values widespread where I live, in my hometown. I will have like people that I knew that I went to high school with, like white straight guys that were pretty Republican the last time I knew them, like walk up to me and say like, Dean, you've shifted my view on everything. Like I specifically remember my buddy from high school that had more Republican views. I hung out with him for the first time in years on Halloween. I appreciate you for the $5 on PayPal. Thank you. And then like the first thing that he started to talk to me about was how he voted for Harris. And then same thing last night. I went out to a restaurant and one of the waiters on the way out stopped me and said, Dean. And then I just started having a conversation with them about how they ended up voting Harris in the booth, even though they'd been a Trump supporter for so long, because they've been watching my lives for a couple months and they were like genuinely thankful. But, you know, that was just so cool to see, especially in my hometown. But yeah, everybody head over to @Parker, get a job. I'll be over there soon. Spam Dean Raid in his chat. I love you all and I'll see you there. Bye, guys.